that's okay. We'll get you started and with the group and find a good reason for you to for Peter Montfort to background himself for a session.
He's gonna take a nap.
Oh look, orphans! Let me go help them. Old lady that needs crossing the street.
Devon, whenever you have a free moment, do you mind just putting me up to the GM role?
Don't do this trap.
Yeah. My character sheet that I sent you have the name of my character on it, I forget. Or did it just say Trople's character?
It just said Trople's character.
Okay.
Oh, I downloaded a third version of your character sheet now accidentally. Delete the other. Delete that one. What is the name of your character?
Vinshenzo.
Trople's character.
Right is there
Hi, my name is.
there?
What the fuck? Stab them gooder.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Xavier Vanfear.
Nice.
Oh.
What the fuck am I downloading?
Everything.
Yeah, it's been stuck at 31% for quite a while now.
I'm not sure why it was stuck at 31%. I can't help you with that, but
My
everything.
cat
Stuck at
is
99%.
a picture of my
Yeah,
cat.
Hi,
Cat's
Kill.
fucking fat.
No. It's just rendered every single fiber of every single hair on its body. Battle maps. Ooh, oh no, this is it.
I have uploaded a new mod for Tabletop. It is a cat and is approximately 1.2 gigabytes.
I want that image now. I want it to exist, and I want it on my computer.
A 1.2 gigabyte file of a cat.
It is my
Yes.
cat.
He's my cat.
I literally downloaded my cat.
Please
That's why
rate
it's such a big file.
and favorite.
You wouldn't download a car.
Seeker, can I have pictures of your pussy?
Wow. Wish I could unhear that.
Could have died a happy man without ever hearing such.
Can I please see your pussy? Seeker.
You made me a pussy.
That's not what I want. Where's my monster? There it is. Oh man, okay. It's 1901. Ready.
Wow,
Welcome
perfect timing.
and welcome back. It's perfect timing.
Congratulations, everybody.
Do you all of you returning Folkarinos remember where we left off, or do you need a refresher?
I remember exactly.
Me, Carlos, and Amathray are in the forest looking for Khutula.
This is true.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well that was easy. And then I'm not quite sure what Nephis is doing. Nephis, what do you think you would be doing upon the emerging
Isn't the
of
ship,
this?
beached, right?
The ship is beached.
He'd be assessing the damage of the ship,
All right.
if any. I'm trying to... Yeah. Dealing with the ship.
If it matters to you, Amathray gave you instructions to find out where we are.
Oh, right, yeah. He'll do that afterwards.
Hell yeah.
Woman.
Women. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly jump into.
Who's touching me? Stop.
Sorry, did you manage to get those maps put in?
Yes. I can...
Okay.
Oh, no. I can't do that, though.
Oh, those
Okay,
aren't
that's fine. It
mine.
gives me a chance to run in on the on our two new returning new family. All right, so
Welcome.
Corwin and Trople, hello.
Hello.
Hello. So we're gonna start off with you guys to get you rolling.
Yeah, get him rolling.
Get them rolling.
Why have I lost progress in loading in? Why am I at 98% now?
Oh, same here.
Because more
Oh,
things.
there's more files.
They're
Sure.
Yeah.
Have
putting more
another.
stuff, yeah.
Perfect.
Quit adding
Okay.
things.
So we'll make this a little bit bigger just for the rest of the world to see.
Compare by picture of Kitty.
So this is the island that you're on.
Blank map.
Well, I know you
It's
can't see it,
loading.
but that's okay.
It's there, trust me.
Okay.
It's a cat.
Gonna lock this for now. Oh, let me orient it. No, I won't orient it.
Okay. It's
gonna
okay,
do
because we
this.
don't know where we are, so it doesn't have to be oriented.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Adding to the confusion.
So, specifically Corwin, because I actually have a little bit more written up about you because I know your character's backstory. So you were escorting groups of refugees out of the country of Abramortia in what we're going to call the Old World, before shit went sideways. You were working with the Order and members of the Thieves Guild to smuggle out innocent civilians who were trying to escape the clutches of the Abramortian cult leaders. I would like you to roll quickly a 1d4, figure out where you were trying to get to.
Ooh.
Mostly because I couldn't decide.
Let's see. Let me find the D4 real quick.
First roll.
Yeah,
of the
this
game.
one will do.
Okay, cool. So you were trying to. Oh, this is going to be fun. So you're trying to, if you take a look at this lovely world map that we have back here that is soon to be redundant, you were trying to head back west to the kingdom of Buxia.
So I'm just going to tell you now, that's blank. I'm just looking at the old Discord ones.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, you're trying to head west to the kingdom of Buxia.
Oh, wait.
Hold
on. Lucia? Let's see. That's actually tied to his background. He grew up there.
Hey, there you go. So you're trying to get people back to there out of Abramortia, and then all of a sudden, crazy shit went sideways. Now you were traveling with a group of not only the civilian refugees that you were trying to get out of there, but you also had some other Order troops and a pair of dudes that were sort of working alongside you as fellow agents, who were by the names of Lorum Dragor, who is an orc, and Beldam, who is an Isamar, who's from the same order of Ilmater that you are from.
Hell yeah.
So they were helping you out, and you had a bunch of civilians that you were trying to escort, along with some Alliance troops. Anyways, as you were sneaking through sort of a wooded patch of coastline, try and get to the drop-off point to get those guys out to sea. Massive, crazy, fucking sky-turning purple, huge like beams of energy and light and terrifying noises start sort of dominating the sky, and then you and your entire sort of band are swallowed up by the earth as it effectively disintegrates underneath you.
That's unusual.
Yes, it is quite unusual. When you wake up on you wake up amongst a pile of rocky debris. There are several bodies scattered about you, and some are very clearly dead.
Oh, yeah?
As in, like, either dismembered or squished
Oh, yeah?
with said rocks.
Okay.
Beside you, or nearby, there are... here we go. So there are 3 other people who are sort of waking up or moaning and groaning, showing signs of life. One of them is a half-elf, and 2 of them are civilians who are just wearing... They're some of the refugees that you recognize.
Never heard of the civilian race before.
They're human civilians. Sorry,
There you go.
Abramortia is a human kingdom. They're all humans there. The civies are
Except for the
human.
half-elf.
Sounds like a good place.
Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice
Yeah.
what you'd say, yeah. Quality people. Anyways, yeah, you are sitting around in what looks like, as you're sort of looking around, a big dry patch of ground in and amongst an estuary that is leading through like a set of wetlands. And there's super tall dry grass reeds all around you that are kind of obscuring your view. But in the to the northeast, you see 3 mountain peaks. And to your south, well, pretty much to your south, southeast, and southwest, it's all open ocean. And very faintly in the horizon in the south, you see an island. None of this is familiar to you, and you've woken up. You can definitely tell that you are not where you used to be.
There was a few hints towards that.
Yep. Trople, being the half-elf, you've also awoken to find all of this.
Yes.
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 Would Peter actually be familiar with Trople's character? Or was he just kind of like
I'm going
spat
to
out in
leave
the
that
same
up to
area?
the two of you to decide how or if you would have known each other, or if he's been randomly spat. I say that just because I can't quite remember what the yeah, can't he can tell you for himself if he knows who you are.
I was just gonna say that I was spat out, and by some happy coincidence, I ended up near Peter.
Oh, there you go. So you don't know who he is, but luckily he's nearby. Luckily for him, he's nearby.
I was about to say, I feel like out of all the places you could randomly be spat out, right next to a level 10 cleric is always a solid on the good scale of things.
This is true.
Unless the cleric is of the smitey persuasion.
Hell yeah.
The 2 other human civilians who are sort of waking up, you know them. They're 2 males. They both wake up and they look around and they see you and say, "What happened? Where are we?"
That, my good sirs, is a good question. The last one I am unable to answer.
The same guy who talked, his name is Tommy. He looks at the half-elf and he says, "And who are you?"
Who am I? Who's the fuck are you?
Oh. Argumentative half-elf.
Where the fuck are we?
That is a good question. I wish I could have an answer for you. Good sir. That being said, is everyone all right? Any injuries? Sprains, bruises, nausea?
At the last statement, the second guy, whose name is Penvro, he leans over and vomits.
Oh, that answers that question. It's lovely.
It's not too concerning. That, as far as I understand from talking to mages and other such things, that's a expected side effect from spontaneous teleportation.
What the fuck have you been eating? That is some nasty colors.
The same rations everybody else has. I recommend not thinking too hard what's in them. It's healthy. It's good for you. Gets the job done. Don't think about it.
I do
What's
not
that old
view
school type of
yellow as
ration
a
called?
healthy color.
Hardtack?
That was used in the American Civil War, and if you ate it kind of like raw, yeah, it was very uncomfortable. It was likened to cardboard. However, from what I remember, actually looking into it further, you weren't supposed to eat it like that. What you were supposed to do is, get your hardtack and your soup or whatever, and dip the hardtack into it to soften it to the point where it, not terrible.
Interesting.
The more you know.
The more you know. Okay, so As I said, around you there are the bodies of a number of other people. There are 7 bodies in total, 4 of which are soldiers dressed in the uniforms of the order, and 3 of them are other refugees that had unfortunately perished. You know that there's a lot more members of the group that you were traveling with, Peter, that are unaccounted for. There should be more bodies than just the 10 of you, technically. Even counting for the strange half-elf who's come out of nowhere.
Gotcha. So it was Tommy, and what was the other individual's name?
Tommy Carey is the first man.
Tommy
The
Carey?
second man is Penvro Bolivar.
So Tommy and Penimbro?
Yeah.
Alright. Tommy, Penimbro, whenever you are ready, I need you to help me see to the condition of the soldiers and also to help ascertain the situation.
After Penvro finishes dry heaving onto the ground, he gives you a big thumbs up and sort of wipes his mouth off on his sleeve, and he says, "All right, okay, okay, I'll help." And he starts inspecting the fallen soldiers.
Excellent work.
And
Now,
Tommy's going to help as well. They'll take a look at the bodies.
yes. Excuse me, Mr. Ranger.
You talking to me?
Yes.
What would make you think I'm a ranger?
You seem awfully comfortable in the wilderness.
And what is that supposed to mean?
That you're comfortable in the wilderness?
Do these look like the clothes of a ranger?
A well-groomed one, yes.
I question your knowledge. You seem very unfamiliar with my garbs.
I am indeed unfamiliar, yes.
Well, if you had any knowledge of high society living, you would recognize that these are noble clothes, and I have a noble career and passion. So I would suggest you do not imply things again, sir.
Alrighty. May I ask a question?
What would that be?
Do you have any idea where we are? Because I do not. And I doubt Tommy and Penaville do either. Do you, gentlemen?
Tommy says no, and Penvro looks up from his corpse, air quotes, examination and says, "It's Penvro!"
Apologies! Head trauma.
Sir, why would I have any idea where we are at? I'm here in the same fucking circumstances as you.
I never implied that you would or would not. I just need to be thorough. You can't know if you don't ask.
Well, based on what I am seeing, we are on land.
Quite the marshy one at that, it seems.
Xavier would look down at his boots and see that they are getting soaked in muck.
No, you are
Indeed.
actually on a very small patch of dry land, but
Oh,
around you
never
is marsh
mind.
and wetlands. You are in the middle of a swamp on a little bit of dry ground.
Well, look at the bright side. At least we ended up on the dry spot. That's strangely fortuitous. Thank you, Ilmater.
Well, we may be on dry land now, but where are we going to go?
That is a good
That
question.
is into the water, and I am not wearing my water clothes.
That is an... How do I put this? Yes, the attire, I think, for everybody does not match the circumstances.
Well, that seems fair enough.
I mean... From my experience of marshes, it's best to know where one's going before they go through them. Otherwise, you get more leeches than fun. Lots of leeches.
Well, I would like to avoid leeches.
I think that's the opinion of everyone except hags and druids. And strange physicians.
Strange physician.
Yeah. Village healer. Obsession with leeches.
Ah, yes.
Rather insufferable because he would quite frequently be correct, and they would actually be a very good help, but at the same time, nobody wants them near their face with the teeth involved.
I would like to keep my blood inside my body.
I believe that is the same opinion of everything on Earth. Except for vampires.
I do not like sharing it.
I do not fault you for such an opinion, good sir. In fact, I think it rather sensible.
Well, sir, may I ask your name? To whom
Peter
am I
Montfort.
making my acquaintance?
Peter
Very nice
Montfort,
to meet
a cleric of Ilmater.
Ah, Cleric. A
Yes.
man of the cloth. That is very nice.
Indeed.
My name is Xavier Van Veer. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
Xavier Venfier.
It's in the
Yes.
chat as well.
I need to say these things out loud, otherwise I'd forget them.
And as I was giving my introduction, I would bow in a noble fashion.
It's over the top.
A curtsy, if you will. Well, no, not a curtsy, because curtsy.
Yeah, I was about to say curtsy's gendered for women.
Yes.
Why, Xavier, are you hiding something? No, I'm kidding. And that was not in character, so shut up.
So as you guys are chatting, Tommy comes up to you with holding a collection of items, and he hands over to you 4 spears, 4 daggers, 4 order pendants, 3 silver pieces, 3 gold pieces, and 13 copper pieces. And he says, "This is everything I could find on the bodies of the soldiers. It's everything that looked like it might have been of value or import. I didn't take their armor or shields; they're a little bit too heavy. I thought that you might like them, seeing as you're their boss."
Thank you, Tommy. I do appreciate that. The pendants especially. They are dead, correct?
Tommy shrugs and he says, "Well, I'm not a doctor, but I'm fairly certain when a head is flattened by a stone, that usually means death."
Yeah, you would be entirely correct about that, good sir.
As I had described earlier, these guys are very, very obviously dead,
Yeah.
like detached from parts of their body dead.
Yeah.
Well, the lack of a head would seem like a very major inconvenience.
I've learned not to take these things as a given, considering vampires. And undead. I will give them this. They are rather persistent.
Vampires are fairy tale, aren't they?
Mr. Venfier, I do believe that we both know enough about the world to realize that every tale is not necessarily a tall tale. And that the ones that we most prefer to be tall tales are more often than not very, very real.
Well, I suppose that would be right. I have seen some things in my travels that defy explanation.
As you guys finish your chat, you hear the sound of boots sloshing through the water coming to from your west. It sounds as though there's about a dozen at least people who are just people or somethings that are traipsing through the water quite close by.
Well, it would seem we are not alone.
Ah, potential survivors. Hello there, good sirs.
You do not know if they are friends.
Ah! But statistically speaking, you are probably right. But it could be.
What could be?
There is 4 of us, and 2 of them are village idiots.
Hey, that's very hurtful towards them. They're good folk. And besides, you haven't even really met them. How do you know they're idiots?
Sir, I can tell an idiot when I see one.
Why are you giving me such a pointed look? That's rather hurtful, you know.
So shortly after your shout, you hear a familiar, gruff voice calling back and says, "Quiet down! We don't know where you are, Peter." And you know that as
You'd make it.
The orc voice of your friend Lurum Dragor, who briefly, after a short period of sloshing, hacks his way through a set of dry reeds and comes up onto the little flat marsh area with you. Behind him is Beldam, your fellow cleric friend, 5 surviving order soldiers and 6 more refugees, 2 men, 2 women, a boy, and a girl are the civilians. The soldiers are 3 humans and 2 Dragonborn.
Well,
More survivors. Excellent. Good to
I
see
stand
all of you.
corrected. It
See,
seems
I
they are
told you.
friends.
I told you. And you thought I was an idiot.
Well, I didn't say it.
You just merely implied it. It's okay. You will see. What was the orc's name again?
Lurum.
I'm gonna need to see that typed out. Oh, sorry.
Lurum Dragor and Beldam. Those are your 2 buddies.
Larum, Beldam, good to see you, and glad to see that more of your party survived wherever occurred to us.
Just give me a second.
And might I introduce Mr. Xavier Vanfier, a noble.
The
That's
orc
all I
merely
have.
nods, and
I would do
Beldam bows.
The same bow. The same bow I did to Peter. A pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
You're not familiar to me. Do you know where we are? Says the orc.
Why does everyone think I know where we are?
He points directly at your head and he says, "'Cause you're a knife-eared elf, and they always know everything.
Love
Strangely
Or so they think."
Are you related to Gotrek?
He sounds like
very
that.
similar.
So a little less insane.
Why, Xavier, you got a compliment from him right off the bat. Took me months. See, look at that glare. Yes, he said he thinks you're wise enough to know where we are. Or implied it. Or implied that you're arrogant enough to pretend that you know where we are.
Well, I guess I shouldn't expect less from an orc, but whatever.
He's a good fellow. Incredibly blunt, like a maul to the forehead, but good fellow.
He does actually have a maul.
Why do you think I used it?
Perfect. Carlos, Santiago stripping and cleaning a weapon in the background.
Sorry.
It's okay. You have fun. Do it because I can't. Fucker. Lurum gestures around himself at the swamp and he says, "Well, I'm hopelessly lost. I looked around when I was traveling here. We were maybe walking for a 10-15 minutes. There were no signs of civilization." And he points out to the sea. "No sailing ships." And he points up to the sky. "And no familiar clouds, mountains. I am lost.
Why are you looking at the clouds? The clouds change.
Not everywhere. So, for all we know, we could be in a less traveled oceanic route, but statistically speaking, that doesn't seem very wise to rely on that. Wait, how long have you been awake?
He looks at Beldam, and Beldam shrugs and says, not very long. We came running when we heard the sound of your voice. It travels quite far, you know.
It must be all the years of preaching in the streets. One has to be rather loud sometimes to actually be heard.
How much vegetation is around?
So it's about shoulder. Oh, you're 5'9", so it's a little bit above head height, like reeds and shit like that in this part of the wetlands. You can see in the distance to your northwest. Just double check. You can see to the northwest that there are mountain peaks that are sort of peeking up over the vegetation, and you can see what looks to be a mixture of deciduous and sort of broadleaf trees.
Wait, is Peter Montfort one of the tallest in this group?
I don't know, how tall is Peter Montfort?
6'3".
Let me just take a look and see how tall Lurum is. Yeah, you're tall. You're taller than everyone.
Hell
By
yeah.
about an inch.
Ha!
Beldam is
Yeah.
6'2".
So either you heard me because I was the tallest and accidentally projecting my voice once again, which does happen. Wait, if you heard my voice, other things could have, but I haven't heard anything, so. Anywho,
Well, I say we should probably find the high ground so we can maybe see the surrounding area better instead of these fucking reeds.
well, any high ground that's dry, really. So, wait,
The
Mr.
high ground
Venfier,
is
how will-
dry.
how long have we been awake?
Well, there was a purple flash. I felt like falling. I went to sleep, and then I woke up to a man throwing up and you questioning if I know where we are. So I'd say 5 minutes at most.
So either we were unconscious for longer, or there was some kind of time dilation effect with the teleportation event. Or magic's just being magic and being weird.
Well, I do feel violated, so it would not surprise me.
Yeah, that tracks
So
with magic.
this is not any magic I've seen before.
I'm not familiar with it.
Neither am I, says the orc.
And Beldam, I highly doubt you are familiar with
Beldam
it.
shrugs. He's not actually paying attention. He's like looking somewhere else.
Fair enough. At least one of us is being vigilant.
No,
Besides
he's
Lurum.
not vigilant. He's entirely distracted by like the blowing of the reeds. You know for a fact that he's a pretty wishy-washy dude. I wouldn't say aloof, because aloof has that like signature superiority. This is not what he is. He's more like ADHD minus any of the benefits.
Is anybody home there?
Yeah, he's in his nothing box right now.
Oh, don't worry about Beldam. He can do that from time to time. Very dependable fellow when the situation arises.
Is he like it all the time?
Upon hearing his name, Baldan does snap back into the conversation. He says, "Oh, sorry, I was looking at the reeds." What were you saying? The high ground? Yes, let's go that way.
Before we do that, Beldam, have you seen any dry grounds? Patches of...
He points at the mountains. That looks
That's-
dry.
That's fair. That's on me. I left that open that like that.
Why?
Do you see any dry patches
was-
around us?
Why are these the people I'm with?
Uh,
Well,
so-
Mr. Van Veer, like a check's like, so apparently you're in a party full of smartasses. Isn't that like Lurum?
Lurum
You're
shrugs
free to
his
leave.
shoulders and then begins to spontaneously shrink and grow feathers as he wild shapes into a bird and then
Fun.
takes off into the sky.
Ever dependable Lurum. You don't know that I think about it. He does that quite often whenever I start trying to chat with him.
He's going to look for sorry, he comes back down a couple minutes later and he unbirds himself back into his orc form and he says
Unbirds himself.
unbirds himself. Yeah, the marshes, they go for a little ways, but it does turn into dry ground pretty soon.
All right.
Does anybody have another pair of boots? I can't get these shoes wet. They're too expensive.
Okay. Penvro, good old Penvro, pulls a pair of boots off of one of the corpses nearby, and he chucks them at you and says, these seem like they're about your size.
I catch and kind of fumble them for a second, like, well, that is something. Thank you,
He gives you a big thumbs
I
up.
guess.
Ever dependable Penfro. By the way, no one mentioned to him the superstition of around wearing a dead man's boots.
His eyes grow a little bit wide, and then he chuckles and says, well, not on my feet.
Right. So,
Well,
were you able to spot anything from up there, Norm?
He shakes his head. No, there's still no signs of life. I thought I saw looked like a fog bank or something up to the north. I'm not quite sure. It was obstructing my view. There's an island to the south, but it's pretty insignificant.
I don't trust that fog. And the island isn't really relevant to us unless it turns out to have something that's capable of flight. And if it does, well, there isn't really much we can do besides try to take cover and hope it can't see us.
I could fly there, but it would take some time. And we're pretty exposed here. We should maybe find some shelter first.
Yes. Did you manage to spot any?
Well, further inland, there's trees and forest.
Better
Okay.
than nothing, being exposed to the sun.
and
Exposure
these
can
things
kill
live
just
in a
as easily.
swamp.
Yeah. I guess we'll start heading that way. Unless anybody else raises any objections.
The civvies all just sort of shrug their shoulders and prepare to move. And the rest of the dudes are pretty okay with the idea of getting the fuck out of a swamp.
Well,
Oh, before we
I
move,
would switch into the boots real quick and throw my nice shoes in my bag.
anybody have any
Uh,
damaged equipment or anything? Broken water skins? All of our supplies are good? Everybody's done a check?
That's a good question. They do a little check and they realize that half of the supplies they've been carrying are either damaged or waterlogged or destroyed.
Alright, those of you with equipment that has holes in it, like a broken water skin, get over here. I can fix that. And those of you who happen to have excess supplies or are capable or willing to share, please speak to Lurum and get that
Yeah.
sorted.
None of the supplies on any of the corpses in your surroundings are any good because they're all in pancake form.
Yes. Well, good news. The muffins are now flatbread.
Grapes. Okay. So yeah, the people with damaged shit that can be repaired line up to receive your repairable blessing
All right. I use the cantrip of mending upon it.
800 times.
Yes. That's the
metaphorically
wonderful
speaking.
cantrip.
All right. So after you've fixed all your stuff, all of the stitches have been unstitched, and all of the breeches have been patched. All the spear shafts have been unsplintered.
All the shoes repaired, more importantly.
Yes, and the shoes repaired. Your posse of peeps are ready to set off in the direction of
the closest patch of woods that can give us cover.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if you guys can see all the maps and shit yet because it says that you're frozen on 99% and 30% loading.
I can see the map.
Okay.
I
I
can see
can't
one.
really see a whole hell.
Because you don't know where you are. I'm not going to show you where you are. I just wanted to make sure that you could see it, so that eventually when it all makes sense, you'll figure out where you are. Okay, so it'll take you a little bit of time to get through these wetlands, and that's okay, because during your travels, we are going to swap over to the other group. The bigger
Group A.
Group A.
I'm gonna try to relog into the server.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys have arrived at this unknown island, having skipped through the waves essentially like a fucking skipping stone, except instead of a stone, you're on a boat. And begun a hasty, quick search for missing member Khutula. You have found, or specifically, Chill has found some items that look like they are of Khutula's, were once in Khutula's possession in the tree line just by the shores, and you were accosted by howling monkeys for a little while. Actually, no, you're still currently being accosted from the trees by howling monkeys that are very curious to know what the fuck you're doing.
Tis only
Hey, it actually loaded me in this time.
I seem to have lost progress.
23%.
I also seem to have a bit of a latency issue currently.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Huh.
But it's probably just because it's trying to do everything at once. So it should
Most likely.
smooth out.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, you guys are gonna want to continue following the trail of Khutula's dropped shit.
Khutula's dropped shit as well as the other dropped shit, because there was a mix of stuff leading uphill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, be right back. I'm gonna go
Is-
bathroom real quick.
Is any of the stuff that we've encountered A, reachable, or 2, usable?
A, reachable, or 2, usable.
Yes.
Good. So the objects that you have found so far.
Book,
Or
a
a
scroll,
book.
and a banner.
Yes, a book, a scroll, and a banner. So the banner is high the fuck up in a tree in the canopy. The scroll has been tangled among the branches, whereas the book itself
I'm holding.
is on the ground. Yeah, Isaac is holding. That's it for the stuff that you've seen so far. I recognize that we're catching up, and now we're going to start moving forward. So, you guys going to move farther into the tree line? Question mark.
Wherever Isaac guides us.
Isaac,
How fucked up was the book again?
the spine was broken.
Oh, so unfixable or?
I'm sure.
Let me reread the dialogue because I'm trying to.
If the spine's broken, I mean, it's still a book.
It's just pages.
Yeah, like the book itself is readable. It's just fucked up.
Okay.
Alright, well, in that case, I will put it in my backpack and.
There we go. Its
lead us
pages
up
are
the hill.
waterlogged and the spine is damaged, but it's unmistakably one of hers.
Oh, in that case, I don't know. I'll hold it and keep walking up the hill.
Yeah. All right. So as you walk up the hill, you start to notice, and this is without requiring a perception check. It's quite obvious. You start to notice other pieces of debris that are very obviously not from Khutula, but are still kind of familiar. Mostly bits of ship. Some places you see chunks of a mast, and other places you see the rudder steering wheel. Can't remember what it's called. the helm. And you also see things such as a Dragonborn-sized boot and other bits of paraphernalia that are Khutulas. Sadly, as you're starting to, you guys sort of recognize, you know kind of where you are simply because you're in a very recognizable part of the island, which is, if you look at the map right here. This is the bowl of the part of the island that you landed in, and you guys are sort of walking up in this direction, following the path of debris.
Oh.
So as you get up sort of higher up the hill, Vinshenzo, I think you're following them, right?
No.
I'm on the beach with
Nephis.
Nephis.
Ah, perfect. Okay. Well, Isaac and Nephis and Carlos find a very familiar thing in the trees.
Oh.
It is Alpiner.
Oh.
Her fucking mongoose thing?
No, it's Vinshenzo's dog.
Oh, sorry, I forgot who Alpiner was. Oh.
You're gonna forget who he is again.
Oh.
Oh.
So he's...
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Is there any way to... How far up is he?
He's a good... Well, from where you are, because you're on the side of a hill, it's a good 10 feet above you, but you would have to descend a sharp... I don't want to say sharp as in, like, unnavigable, but it's a sharp drop, a steep incline to get to the tree, to climb up it.
Hmm.
To get to the friend.
It's too dangerous.
Make a mental note of where it is.
As you carry on moving northeast, you exit out of the sort of the environment that you were in, which is a very wet tropical broadleaf. Very familiar to you, Carlos. Actually, kind of reminds you a little bit of home in terms of just the way the vegetation is. But you start ascending up the steep hill into a temperate rainforest, where increasingly large chunks of some of the ships that you can identify as being the vampire ships that you had been fighting, or had been in that little group that you guys chased after, as you find the same hull names and tattered sails with the vampire clan sigil on them. Upon arriving at the top of the hill, it's sort of the crux of a good quarter of a ship that has just been absolutely mangled, is intertwined in a bunch of trees, almost as though it had been tossed. It seems as though it had just been tossed aside.
Demon.
Oh yeah, the demon barge. No, this is not the demon barge. Don't worry. That would
What
fucking
section of the
suck.
ship is it? Can we tell?
It's it's the back. It's the aft of the ship,
Oh.
and it's upside down. So the keel is up in the trees, and the top, quote unquote, the top of the ship is like half smashed into a collection of rocks.
Wow. Can I investigate it?
Yes, you can.
What do you want me to roll?
Investigation.
Fine, I will.
Isaac, you want to look around too, or what do you want to do?
Sorry, I was a little distracted by other stuff. What was the very last thing that happened?
You found the back quarter of a boat in a tree.
I
You're at
will
the top of the hill.
investigate
Okay, and you're also going
with
to investigate.
guidance.
Okay.
What's my investigation? That's intelligence. All right.
Yes.
23.
Nice. Okay. Is there anything specific you're looking for? Or are you just sort of looking through all of the bits to see what you can see?
Primarily looking for signs of survivors. After that, identifying, from what ship this was.
So once again, this is one of the ships. Well, more specifically, you're able to figure this out because of your investigation. This is very definitely one of the ships that you guys had come up against when you were trying to take down Hans Strybor. You can still see signs of battle damage that indicate that this is one of the ships that was directly involved in the fight. And you see in one of the corners, sort of half leaning out of not a gun port, but I guess a porthole in the ship, is one of the mangled bodies of the crew. Very obviously did not die of this apocalyptic crash. He died beforehand. I think it was Amithray was the one who was killing all the crew. I can't remember. I believe she was killing all the crew in that final fight. So this is one of the guys that she eviscerated.
Damn.
And as well, there's like the tattered banners and insignia of the vampires, and there's some chests and items that have the logo of Valeriano Shipping and Trade, who we all are aware was the logistical backbone of the Dark Pact. So they were the goods shippers for that whole group. So it makes sense as to why that shit was on his boat. You also see a very interesting object, Isaac, specifically because you rolled a 23 or something.
Yes, 22 plus 1.
A 22 plus 1. You see it's on the ground, it's smashed, it's no longer usable, but it's very recognizably, very obviously one of the charges for the Sunlance, or whatever the fuck I called it.
Suncaster?
Suncaster.
Although Sunlance does sound pretty cool.
Sunlance does sound cool.
Yeah.
But it's a Suncaster charge. It's been smashed.
Yeah.
Likely due to a high velocity arrest against a rock.
Its speed went from fast to not at all. Real fast.
Fast to standing still.
Went from going fast to not at all. Very quick.
All right. Are there any usable supplies here?
Given the context of this crazy cataclysm, this usable could mean a lot of things. Are you just looking for like ration packs and stuff, or weapons? What kind of usable?
Food, water, weapons.
Just want to make sure, because I could start listing off like ship rope if you wanted, but we'd be here for a little while.
I'm not looking for that right now.
I just want to make sure.
For immediately useful things.
Yeah.
For survival.
Most of the shit is smashed. Most of the, like, anything that was not canvas or not malleable has been smashed in the violence that was involved in this ship's ultimate demise. However, you do find in one of the Valeriano Shipping and Trade boxes that had emerged less mangled than all of the others, you find some cloaks, some like sort of all-weather cloaks, which I guess might account for something, but as well, sort of wrapped in them is 6 ration packs.
And how many all-weather cloaks?
There's a dozen.
Right, I noted that down. Yeah, I'll grab all of that. And then I will look for any possible tracks, and if I can't find any, I will just follow the debris.
All right. We're gonna swap down to the beach real quick to see what Nephis and Vinshenzo are up to.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Vinshenzo is sitting on the beach nearby, although somewhat far away from Nephis. He's skipping small, flat, circular objects into the water.
Small, amazing.
Oh. Nephis, like I said earlier, would be assessing the damage to his ship. After that, he would climb the crow's nest to get a better view of the land.
Yeah. So, quite luckily, there is no real damage to the wide horizons. I say no real damage because there's nothing structural. It luckily, when it had gone sort of blasting across the surface of the water, it didn't hit anything aside from when it like eventually got to the beach, slowed down, and washed ashore. So the ship is remarkably intact. When you eventually get on board, you notice that some of the supplies are pretty messed up. I don't think there are any animals left in the hold, and I really hope there weren't any animals left in the ship's hold.
None of mine.
There would have been my horse, Cheyenne, and the sled.
Yeah, Cheyenne's fucking dead.
Oh,
Mangled up in the front of the boat.
damn, dude.
Its neck is broken, and the sled is also sort of just
Oh, fuck.
tossed.
That was the wrong one.
song. Wrong one.
Sorry.
There were what, 2 horses in the hold, I think.
My
Were
horse
there?
was left at the vampire manor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Reflected on
we
the
had
ash.
3 total horses, I think.
Okay, well, the horses are dead. Basically, the reason you guys were alive is because you were on the top deck. The animals were not. So the violent stop made them also stop.
Oh.
And yeah, so basically, like, the interior of your ship is in absolute fucking disarray because everything is trashed and scattered.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the ship itself is actually very intact. There's a few on the inside. There's a few beams, like a part of the internal structure. There's a few beams that are a little bit cracked or that have some slight damage to them just from objects impacted them. You know, like a horse's head.
Like hammering that home, aren't you?
But aside from that, there's no real damage.
By the way, your horse is dead. You remember
It's
that?
fucking dead.
Fuck.
Shit.
That's the only heavy object that I could think of aside from the sled that's inside the ship that would like break pieces of wood. I don't know what else you guys
There'd
had.
probably be like barrels and stuff for like
yeah,
storage.
barrels of fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, moon pie.
there's fish everywhere.
Fuck. Better clean that shit up.
No!
First, it to smell like fish.
What a fishy situation.
Did we ever fill them up? I don't think we did.
The
have to
egg
take a look
yolk
at my
moon
notes.
I know we
pie
still had
barrel.
like 60 fucking fish rations.
From the giant fish.
Those things are rancid. Those
I
things are not good
I
in
I
think
thought you
case.
dried them. They can last forever.
I thought we went a second round of fishing and then you dried them and stored them in the barrels. Or
Dried them
something.
and salted them, and they
I
last
know that
forever.
he
Put 'em in
made egg
lard.
yolk moon pie.
Egg yolk moon pie.
Warm, salted.
Well, seeing that his horse is dead, Nephis kneels next to the body and sits a moment with it. Afterwards, he gets up, goes up to the top deck, and climbs the crow's nest to see if he can't get any eyes around.
You can
So
see
in
me.
the crow's nest, yes, you can see Vinshenzo. Reference
Could
the
do a
map.
Perception or
Oh yeah, for sure.
check. But yeah, keep on going.
So if you take a look at the map, you can see pretty much everything around here. In terms of like, just so you know what the geography around you is, that's the geography.
Oh. I got an 18 for perception.
18. So there is some scattered debris in the water.
Mhm.
Not
I would
huge
be looking,
concentrations.
sorry, for survivors or like shipwrecks.
Okay, yeah. So looking around you, you notice you've already heard it, but all of like the path of the flying shipwreck that crashed into the side of the mountain, you can see all this shit that's going up there, and you very obviously see like at the top of the hill with your 18, you can see sort of the crunchy end of what looks like a piece of a ship. You're not quite sure which piece it is, but you can see that something's way up there that's boat shaped. But you don't notice any survivors or any real signs of life aside from a big pack of monkeys that are sort of staring at the ship from afar and howling. They're to your east. But they've been howling for a little while, so you know that they've been there.
Giving a snarl, he climbs down from the crow's nest and gets off the ship and approaches Vinshenzo.
How many minutes have passed since Vin sat down on the beach? This is important.
It's been an hour
Oh,
since
shit.
the dudes. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The amount of time that has passed. Oh man. Did you sit down at the beach before Carlos and company left?
No.
You came back to the boat after they left.
No, Vin was never with Carlos and company. He was always on the beach.
Okay, so it's been about like 15, 20 minutes
Oh.
that you've just
hell
kind of
yeah.
been sitting around.
Okay, 15.
Maybe a little bit longer, but yeah.
Okay, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay. As you approach Vinshenzo, you see that he's skipping gold pieces into the water.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Offerings to the smiling lady. It's our only respite out here. Stranded.
Nephis sighs and crouches next to you. Yeah, I'm not sure where we are. Cheyenne's dead, my horse.
Chris, would this island look anywhere like Vinshenzo has been? I'm not asking if it is, I'm asking if it looks like it. Which is like...
I'm gonna get you to roll I'm gonna get you to roll nature.
Okay. Oh, I accidentally touched a note card. Oops. I roll nature. And my nature is +2. Oh, nat 20 for nature? Let's go.
Wow.
Big natural.
Big
naturals.
naturals. So this looks a lot like the short answer is yes. Because Vinshenzo is an acknowledged traveler of the world. He is aware that this kind of terrain in this sort of place that he's in reminds him of the tribal lands of Bach in the Godran Orc lands, sort of to the east of.
I don't know if Vinshenzo would go to tribal lands.
I thought he's a world traveler. So I say tribal lands because that's the name of like the area.
I thought we established at one point that Vin has been to Morrowind, maybe down here, and maybe Rogeron, but...
Okay, well, it would definitely remind you of Morrowind.
Okay. Yeah, that's where
if that was established, it hasn't been written down. Yeah, that's sort of part of that's south enough of the equator that it looks tropical.
Hell yeah.
So basically anywhere in Tarvia and anywhere south of sort of Morrowind is where, if you had traveled around there, this is sort of in the region of what it would look like.
We are obviously in the lands of Morrowind. We must find a settlement. The people here will regard me quite well. They Being elves, of course.
That's where the dwarf I met came from. He teleported from here.
Yes, how queer.
Well, perhaps you know where it is on a map. And he begins to pull out his,
I'm sorry.
You said it's Morrowind. How do you not know?
It's a continent, Mr. Nephis. I don't know where on it we are.
Well, thanks, I guess.
We must find
Look in the area.
Some comely peasants.
Comely peasants.
Come.
Well, once the others get back, perhaps they've met him.
They're citizens.
Citizens. Nephis continues to pull out his map and stands and heads back towards the ship.
I have an
and he
idea.
turns.
Oop.
You must leave
What
me.
is it?
I will
Say a prayer for
find out
Cheyenne.
where we are. Who is Cheyenne?
My horse. Just told you.
Oh.
Damn, dude.
Yes,
He frowns his brow and walks away.
I lost my steed as well, Mr. Nephis. Which is dire straits we are in.
He's gone.
Vin
Damn.
begins casting a ritual.
Oh.
He starts digging arcane symbols in the sand with the heel of his foot.
Ooh.
And he's casting commune as a ritual.
Remind me what commune does.
It's right here.
Oh, you're the best.
Commune?
Commune.
Alright.
You contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions. Sorry, I can read this without being out loud.
It's a bard spell. Well, you can read it for everyone.
I need Chill to move his fucking hand. Thank you.
You can just press Alt or hold Alt, rather.
I'm not good at TTS and I've been gone for 2 months. Give me a chance here.
He's
Hey, what the
getting
fuck
his
is this
Cheeto dust on my character sheet.
Oh wait, there it was.
That's not it. Go back.
There it is. Okay.
Let's all press the button.
You contact your deity, divine beings, and you receive a correct answer for each question. Oh, interesting.
My deity
Divine
is
beings
the
aren't
lady
necessarily omniscient.
luck?
You might receive unclear as an answer. The question
Might.
pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge. In a case where a one-word answer could be misleading or contrary to the deity's interests, the DM might offer a short phrase as an answer instead. Interesting. Okay. Well, you got, in terms of the time-space continuum, you got about an hour's worth of activity, so I'm not quite sure how long it takes to cast as a ritual.
11
10
minutes.
extra minutes.
11 minutes, so let's just go straight into it. So,
Hell
you
yeah.
cast Commune.
Yes.
What are your three questions?
My questions are: do you know where we are?
No.
No.
Badly worded question too. It could just say yes, I know where you are, and then not say anything.
Vin is stupid.
Gotcha.
And will you show yourself to me, smiling woman?
No.
Vin throws more coins in the water.
You have 3 questions.
He doesn't ask a third.
Okay.
That's cool.
Is this like a genie where she's just like stuck now?
Yeah, I was about to say, are you just leaving him on the phone and just walking off?
Nah,
No,
I dispel it.
once the spell ends.
Or
Gotcha.
it ends after a minute, yeah.
Yeah, it ends after a minute.
Vinshenzo definitely seems like a guy who like,
Vinshenzo.
yeah, just like, all right, I got my 2 questions. All right, now I'm gonna just walk off and leave the line on.
Didn't he donate like a fucking 1,000 gold coins or something to this bitch, and she can't even show herself to him?
She's the
1400.
goddess of luck, if I remember
So he was
correctly.
unlucky.
Well, luck is a fickle mistress.
Oh.
I'll show you my fickle mistress.
Ooh.
She's the. I can't fucking remember her name. So
Timora.
Timora, that's what it was. I was thinking of. I know what goddess she is, but it's been. I keep forgetting that she's not the other one, Illithray. Not Illithray. Illithray?
Elistray?
Elistray. I didn't even remember her properly. That's cool.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Well, it's been a while.
she's the goddess of good luck. Not Illustray, but
Good
Timora is the
fortune.
goddess of good luck
Hell.
and good fortune.
Vin holds no ill will to Timora. She's gotten him out of a few jams.
It's true. So, consulting some map with the information. Okay, so Nephis, with about an hour's worth of time just to catch up in the time-space continuum, you have a couple of possible places where you guys could be that I can't show you on the world map because it's too small. Or sorry, it's too low detailed. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I can't show it to you on the world map because it's cut off part of the continent. There, now we can. Okay, so you could be here. You could be
That's
here.
where Vin said we were. Oh.
Yeah. So you could be here, you could be here. And maybe you could be here. And I say maybe just because you're looking at like the mouth of the here.
Do we know that we're on an island?
So again, recognizing that there's a little bit of meta here, but you are aware of this part of the map. You two.
So we
and
don't know
Nephis
if
is a little
we're
bit-
actually on an island.
No, you're just
Okay.
aware that there's a bay, and then the boys and Amithray are up here roughly.
Can Vinshenzo
So-
and Nephis see this?
Vinshenzo and Nephis would not be able to see that due
Okay.
to the geometry of this hill blocking the way.
Vinshenzo might know that Morrowind has no islands. Or at least there's none on this map.
And this is a big fucking island. Somebody measured it at the very start of the session, and like the longest distance that you can travel from point to point is like 40 kilometers.
Yes.
Yeah, big island. It's quite girthy.
Vinshenzo
So yeah, so
sits
that brings
back
us
down.
up to the point in time. So we're gonna jump onto Hilltop, guys, very briefly to see which direction you guys want to move in or not move. So I want to see where you guys go next. It's critical.
It's critical.
Hell yeah,
It's critical.
dude.
Well,
You're at the upside down quarter of a ship. You found a Suncaster charge and the remnants of the losers of the fight that you guys had before the apocalypse.
does Isaac see the continuation of the trail, or does it stop here?
We didn't get
Were
that far.
there are there any tracks from this place, or is it just more debris?
I will get you to roll me. I think it's survival for tracking.
$24.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you in fact see a foot trail. Footprints can be found leading to further to the northeast. They are, with your 24, very obviously Khutula prints, because you know her footprints for some reason. Actually, not for some reason. You've been adventuring with each
Yeah.
other for months. Of course,
We've
you
been
fucking know what her
okay.
footprints.
Not only have we been adventuring for months, but I literally followed the party's tracks when I was separated.
Yeah, so you know what you're tracking. You are tracking Khutula.
Cthulhu
Alright,
sent pics.
I pointed out to Carlos the tracks, and then I start following.
Outstanding.
Okay, so Amethray points out that you guys have been gone for roughly an hour, and that we're getting pretty far from the ship.
Are you suggesting that we give up? We have to find her. You said so yourself.
Yes, but I think we should maybe bring the others with us, or at least tell them what's going on. And maybe make sure they're still alive.
I have no worries about Nephis or Vinshenzo. I know they're fine.
Also, Amethray, I think, said at one point they would search until sundown.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Hell
She
yeah.
did.
Also,
She didn't say
for
stop searching, she just said, hey, we should...
returning
inform the
players,
others.
Amethray is Vinshenzo's wife.
Yes.
If we
Oh,
go
right,
back
okay.
now to see if they're okay, we'd lose, what, 2 hours of searching?
She waves her hand dismissively and says, fine, you continue searching, I'll go back and inform the others. We will come back
Alright
up
then.
here, I will bring them up here and we'll meet you at this place.
Excuse me.
Guys in tights.
Thank you.
I follow Isaac.
And she fucks off back to the ship. Twimpledy. Cool. So you guys carry on. So you're going to, for another little while, going to carry on northeast. So again, just roughly for map reference, you guys are about here.
Like that.
Yep, you guys are progressing up that hillside. Okay. Let's find out how Trople's character is dealing with leeches in his deadman's boots. You have trekked across the marshlands, and you are now starting to head uphill into dry ground after an hour's worth of slogging through the marshes and across the small rivulets and estuaries that dominate these wetlands. After an hour, you finally reach more permanent dry ground, which is cluttered in bracken and other such tight, shitty vegetation.
Well,
Well,
it seems. Well, no one's dead, eaten, maimed, burning, or otherwise suffering traumatic injury. Things are going well. Much better than how it usually goes for Marshes and me.
well,
And
I-
vampiric ambushes! Always a fantastic improvement.
well, I'm pretty sure these boots were not the right size. My feet are killing me right now. I think we need to stop for a second so I can switch back to my shoes.
Your other shoes, are they meant for this kind of terrain, or are they more for typical city life?
Were your boots meant for walking? Is that just what they'll do?
I was trying to avoid explicitly saying that.
Well, I wasn't wandering around the city when I got teleported. I was already on my own fucking adventure, so yeah, these boots are made for walking.
Okay. Well, I mean,
what they'll do.
all right, here, let me rephrase that. Apologies. Are they meant for marshes?
Well, we are not in the marsh anymore. We are on dry land.
Well, technically true. All right, here, let me rephrase this for the third time. How soft are your boots? I don't think your foot has gotten acclimated to the environment we're in. Gotten acclimated? Huh, this traumatic injury is really affecting my fucking grammar.
Amazing.
Do you want to rephrase it for a third time? What do you
Boot, no
mean?
good. Foot, need toughening. I apologize. That was unbecoming of me.
That was very rude.
It was. I apologize. Anyway, we're not dead.
That we are not.
And look, neither did anybody else die.
They, yeah,
Well.
they're all alive. That's for sure.
Now, at this point,
Beldam-
we should probably check around, though. What were we going to say?
Beldam, Lurum, and your posse of Peepus. I have to flip back to those names.
Those are refugees, right? 5
Yeah,
soldiers and the rest
refugees
civilians.
and 5 troops, and 2 children. So the 2, well, they count as refugees. So they're all quite haggard, and they sort of collapse in the tree line of the edge of the wetlands. Beldam looks at you, Peter, and says, I think perhaps we best let them rest.
I concur.
We'll be faster looking around without them worrying about themselves.
Yes, scouting and reconnaissance operations tend to go faster when you don't have to worry about civilians. I'm not blaming them. It's just the fact that, well, I don't think their attire is really suited for our environment. Anywho, Beldam, and if you find gentlemen, he points at the soldiers, would mind securing the refugees and standing guard while Lurum, if he's agreeable, and myself and potentially Mr. Van Veer will do some more reconnaissance and
Very
try to
well.
ascertain if there's not a beastie that we just entered the territory of who is looking at us as delightful little snacks and little hard shells.
Beldam closes his eyes real hard for a second, and he says, I detect nothing evil. We should be safe.
But does the lion consider itself evil? Right before it eats the gazelle?
He screws up
Probably
his
not.
face in a very I'm confused expression.
That is a very good point, Peter. Very well put.
What I'm trying to say, Beldam, is just because there's nothing evil nearby does not mean necessarily that there's not something dangerous nearby.
A good point. Well, we shall keep the refugees safe while you scout around to see if there's any lions.
Thank you, Beldam. Well, what do you think, Lurum?
He gives you a shrug, and he says, I can fly ahead again. Just keep yourself visible. I'll come back to you when I've done a good search.
Well, at the risk of telling you how to do your job, I would probably go back a little bit out into the marshes before turning into a bird, considering there may be something hiding up in the trees and waiting to pounce on us.
He sniffs, chuckles, and then wild shapes into another beast, another bird. I should have a good list of cool druid things on standby, but I don't care enough about this stupid fucking NPC to tell you exactly what he is.
But he's such a delightful
giant
fellow.
eagle. He turns into a giant eagle. There we go. I see it now. Because he's
Well, I
actually
don't know
able to
your
do
friend
this.
very well, but I would say that is him telling you to fuck off.
Yeah, he flutters off in the direction of north in the form of giant eagle.
To be fair to him, I did kind of tell him how to do his job.
Well, no one likes that.
Exactly, so that's why I'm not taking it personally.
Which way should we scout? I mean, there's trees. Should we continue trying to find highland, or what?
Overall, I'm thinking the trees. If nothing else, to at least get some kind of shelter for the refugees, be it actual cover from hostile eyes or the weather, also as a means to secure supplies for a campfire.
Well, that can't hurt.
Fire, I have found, is a great asset for a variety of woes, be it natural or supernatural, mundane or magical.
Well, you find me some dry stuff, I can get the fire started.
Excellent. Well, that's the trick, I feel, in this area, is finding dry things. If all else fails, we can just kind of start working at it.
Well, there's a whole lot of dry stuff around
area.
here. I will say that you guys can find a lot of good dry stuff because you're in the drier sort of border of the marshlands that's leading into more of a would this be called a this is also sort of like a temperate rainforest, so a lot of nice dry undergrowth. You wouldn't think that temperate rainforest
Awesome.
Phil, it's only bad if you're not careful.
True! That also relies on you being the one that's having to only be careful and not other factors.
Well, I hope your village idiots aren't dumb enough to play with fire.
Fair. So, I think at this point, the both of us start actually looking around, scouting.
How far do you want to scout? How long?
Like distance or time-wise?
Distance and time, I guess, but time is more relevant on my own. Like I'm keeping track of time better than you guys need to keep track of time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you think, Trople?
I'd say within a click of where the refugees are stationing up, just to kind of get a lay of the land and collect firewood.
And also look for better spots to set up camp, potentially.
Yes. That is what would make sense to Mr. Van Veer.
Okay. So you guys attempting to stay within a kilometer radius of the refugees spend the next hour fiddle fucking around in the temperate rainforest. I don't mean that in a you're not doing anything useful, but just as a placeholder word for exploring. Most of everything that you have found is temperate rainforest. As you traverse what you think is east and west, you begin to encounter more wetlands, and it quickly becomes clear to you that you are actually in essentially like a big copse of trees, and it is not a continuation of a big ass forest. However, to your west, across I'm going to say a drier section of marshlands because it's not quite as nasty as what you just got out of. But to your west, you can see a big mountain that is covered in pine trees, bigger, thicker, older growth than what you're in right now. And to your north, there's another copse of trees on a hill, and to your west, across what looks like a big, giant estuary, there is a third patch of pine rainforest.
Well, this is some up and down terrains we have here, Peter.
But there's a huge, it's just a lot of open plains, and not open plains, but vegetation and wet ground.
Well, on one hand, if we do have to use fire as a weapon, we don't necessarily have to worry about it going out of control. Or at least the concern of that is lessened. That being
not to burn down my cover, but I guess if that is a need.
It doesn't hurt to have options.
Fair enough.
Estuary. That's like related to a river, right?
What?
Estuary.
Yeah.
Estuary is estuary is where the ocean meets like fresh water.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing I've learned in my travels, and you've probably noticed it too, most villages and towns are once sufficiently large enough, and cities
They're normally by a fresh source of water.
yes, riversides and whatnot. So, since we're on this end of the estuary, you could probably just follow it inland, see if there's anything there, and hope it's friendly. If all else fails, we'll at least have information that way. And it seems to be the only preliminary lead that we have.
Well, should we tell the others, or should we just go on our merry way?
Oh, well, of course, I'll have to tell the others. If nothing else, to at least update them about the situation. Especially if Lurum happens to learn anything. He's probably had the same thoughts. Intelligent fellow like that. If a bit, unfriendly.
Oh yeah, it's been an hour. Lurum needs to roll perception. Just as a side, totally unrelated note that don't read into this at all, but Carlos and Isaac, are you guys trying to disguise your movements as you track Khutula, or are you guys just sort of having a walk through the woods to not really paying too much heed to your discipline?
Isaac, you're kind of leading, so.
Yeah, sorry. I was looking over some sheet updates.
Totally fine.
I needed to do. What was the question?
How sneaky are you trying to be while you're tracking Khutula?
Not particularly.
Perfect. Okay.
Also, would we notice a giant fucking eagle with our 20 passive perception?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if the eagle notices you. That's why I'm asking this question.
Okay, I am not actively stealthing.
That's what I was hoping to hear. So with your super perception, yes, you do notice that there is a giant eagle flying overhead. At a distance, but it is still a giant eagle.
Am I familiar with that animal? With that
Roll
bird?
nature. I'm not sure. We'll see if you're familiar.
Let's see now. Plus 5. 16.
16. You know of giant eagles. You are aware that giant eagles nested in the highest reaches of the mountains that you have grown up hunting. Well, other unnecessarily large-sized prey.
Are they? Do they attack humans?
No, they hunt beasts. They're seen as noble creatures because of how absolutely amazing they look. They also are known amongst your people as a good omen. If you were to see a giant eagle, it's usually represents good luck. Whether or not Isaac personally believes in that sort of folklore is up to him. He is aware that giant eagles generally nest up high in such things as big mountains to try and keep them and their young away from dangerous predators that would attack during the night, and they mostly prey on beasts.
All right. Well, I will take that as a sign of good luck, and I will not pay it much more attention because it's not hostile to us.
Mm-hmm. The eagle, as you recognize that it exists. I don't know how long you would be paying attention to it, Isaac. I am aware that you have stupidly huge passive perception, but at one point in time, you saw the eagle
more
far
than a
away.
minute.
Yeah, you saw it far away up in the sky, and then you looked again, and you noticed that it was like flying in your direction. Eventually, it flies over top of you, getting closer to the ground, and it appears to be flying in the direction of the upturned, wrecked ship that you had left a little while ago. Knowing what you know about giant eagles and their habitats and their functions, you can judge that as you desire.
I will just leave it be.
Carlos, with a nature roll of 12, is that what you would just put down?
E.
And it's a big fucking eagle. What's the big
Yeah.
deal?
Bird, big.
Yeah, giant eagle.
Big bird.
Bird.
Bird, big, scary.
Everything about this place is weird. Okay, the ship's upside down. You just teleported through like a giant world-ending wormhole. Eagles are big. Whatever.
Sky's still blue.
There's
Grass
nothing.
still
There's
green.
nothing that stands out to you in terms of like knowledge about this giant eagle.
Good to know.
Yeah, so you can. I mean, I don't want to color your perception of that beast, but you can judge it at face value of the fact that there's a big ass giant bird.
I'd probably be a little more wary of it than Isaac, because I wouldn't be as knowledgeable as to what they hunt or if they're hostile. But I wouldn't do anything unless it actually went after me.
Okay, well, again, given that you have high passive perception, the time, like at one point in time when you notice it, the next time you notice it, it is diving perceptively, it is descending and flying in your direction. And depending on how you react or not react, it'll overfly you and go towards the giant ship.
Yeah, I'd probably like jump behind a tree.
Nice.
Watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
On seeing this, I would say it doesn't hunt humans.
He's not a human though.
Carlos looks at Isaac for a minute.
Oh yeah. Okay, it doesn't hunt people.
Okay, Carlos comes.
I'll be honest, I forgot for a minute you got the kobold.
It's hard to remember. Yeah, he's so people like.
Yeah,
Sometimes forget that they're not human.
almost like he's a person.
That's funny.
I would like
So-
to take this moment to remind everyone that my shield is technically a holy relic thing that I use.
So-
It's you have a holy symbol on your shield. Yes.
Yeah. Just
There.
quick reminder.
So, Carlos is not human anymore. He's a kobold. So that in and of itself, like, he's not a demon or anything. He's just a small.
He's just small.
I mean, if he'd have problems with holy symbols, he'd have problems walking next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also have a holy symboled shield.
Anyways,
I'm
so
culture, I see.
in an attempt to preserve how much time we have in the session. So yeah, you guys see a giant fucking eagle, and then you carry on tracking, which is cool. Vinshenzo and Nephis, eventually, as you guys are caring about your activities, you see Amethray emerge from the tree line, or you don't. But eventually Amethray emerges from the tree line onto the big wide beach that you guys are hanging out on, and progresses her way towards the ship. If Nephis is still hanging out on board, then the first thing she's going to come into contact with is Vinshenzo. What would you be doing after your ritual for about an hour after your ritual? Continuing to toss coins into the sea?
I'm done skipping coins into the water. I'm just sitting on the beach. I've
Nice.
subtracted the appropriate amount of coins.
Wealth has been impacted.
I was skipping
Cool.
3 every minute.
Who will
Okay.
never financially recover from this?
It's a lot of coins. You're not very strong either, so it's not like they're going super far away.
No.
I'm not trying to say that in a mean way.
Weak-wristed bitch.
Oh, he's of average strength.
Well, go in the water and get him, Carlos.
Carlos probably would if he saw you
Thinking of
throwing
whether or
them.
not Amethray would notice that there's just a huge pile of fucking coins in the sea, like 20 feet away from her husband. I'm like, huh? What have you been doing?
Gee, I think these matters are related.
Huh. Anyway, so Amethray comes back and she walks up to Vinshenzo and says, My dearest, why are you sitting here? There's work to be done.
I'm trying to discern which part of Morwen we are in so we can travel to the nearest settlement and make accommodations for make bed accommodate. How would you say that? Make accommodations at the local inn.
She glances around and says, "And how do you intend to pay for it since you've thrown your coins in the sea?"
I bear the crest of the House Cairona.
She arches an eyebrow. Collect your fortunes. Do something useful.
No.
By the way, I found your pet.
No.
You might need to buy another.
My horse or my dog?
She walks away towards the ship and calls back behind her, "The dog!"
Callous.
And she goes to find Nephis.
Vin frowns and sits down again.
Nephis would be in
the
the lower deck, in the captain's room.
Well, eventually, a scraping of boots, the descending of steps on stairs, and the very loud entry of Amithray as any room she enters, she makes her presence known. She comes up to see what you're up to, and asks, "Any luck?"
3 possible locations, and he points on the map. Where? But I'm unsure. I'm uncertain. This place is so unfamiliar to me. I've only sailed near the Dordian Kaganate.
She sniffs and looks at the map, and she says, "I've never been to Morwen myself, but I'm sure we'll figure this out. We found the tracks to lead to Khutula, your sorcerer. We should head up the mountain and assist in your comrades' efforts to search.
He
The
rolls
higher
up his
vantage
map.
point." Okay, sorry.
Sorry, keep going.
She
Right
says the higher vantage point will probably give you a better perspective for your maps.
Aye, I'll follow with you.
He nods
we'll
her
have to
head.
collect Vin. He's strange now.
She arches an eyebrow, says nothing, turns around and leaves.
Yeah.
He was always strange.
So Vinshenzo, Nephis, and Amithray come find you on the beach. The beach.
Okay.
Your wife says,
Thank you.
your wife says they found tracks of Khutula. You ready to leave?
Perhaps there's some good news then. We must
Aye.
find her.
Among other things, yes.
Where's Mr. Carlos and Mr. Stormwind?
She points up the side of the mountain, roughly in the direction that she came from the woods, and she says, "Up that way. We found part of a ship that we're going to meet at. They should be back by the time we arrive. They'll have further information for us, but your tracker, Isaac, is he? He seemed quite confident that he had picked up the trail."
He is quite a skillful man, Amithray.
Aye.
I
Very
know
robust.
even after all this, you still have your doubts.
She nods her head and she says, "Well, their friends truly are being put to the test, and I must say they have not been found wanting. Now, let's hold up our end of the bargain and ensure that we don't fail expectations set upon us." And she starts walking away without any other input from the two of you.
Nephis squints and looks at Vin. Is that a good thing?
Vin shrugs and rolls his eyes.
Fucked if I know.
Nephis follows.
Oh, Wetland team. Wetland noticed Mr. Joe coming back in after a little bit of time. Oh, good lord, my headset's beeping at me.
Yeah, there was like a fuck ton of packet loss or something.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, let me try that again. So, Wetlands team, being Trople and Corwin, after the rest of your searching has been accomplished, you see Lurum in giant eagle form descending upon you. As he pretty much rockets towards the ground in a fucking dive at the last minute, pulls up to break his momentum, and then turns into an orc again. And he says, I think I found something. I found, well, signs of life at least. There's a ship washed ashore in the harbor, and another, well, it's broken now, just a piece of trash, on the top of a mountain to the northeast.
Well, it would appear we're not the only ones here then.
Yeah. It seems like we're on some kind of an island. I've never seen it before.
Well, I mean, from what I understand of magic, there's no guarantee that we're actually still, in the material plane. Let's hope so. At least those rules are rather known to us.
Well, it seems rather familiar, so I would assume we're still here, but I suppose we could be somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is unlike any other plane that I've visited. This is different. It feels like the material realm, but it feels as though we're on a completely different world or something. I'm not sure. It's different here.
Yeah. I know what you mean, Lurum.
As frowny as an orc normally is, he frowns even deeper when you say those words.
There's something in the air. It just doesn't feel right. Ever so slightly off.
He sniffs quite deeply. Yeah, I smell it too. I think they're burning green branches back at camp. A lot of smoke. That could be it. He ponders deeply. Or is it the pollen?
This just occurred to me. As a matter of fact, I probably should have consulted your advice about this prior. These trees, they seem perfectly safe, right? Not, holding potentially highly toxic fumes if burned.
Well, I don't know a lot about trees, but I know I've seen some trees in my travels. I might be able to figure that out.
By all
Possibly,
means.
maybe.
Are you suggesting we burn down this forest?
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just suggesting that if the refugees try to establish a campfire, if for morale's sake, if nothing else, that I'd rather not have them become ill from it. We don't know where we are.
The village idiots.
I trust Beldam would know well enough if there was a sickness or any other sort of toxin. He is about as versed as you are in these sort of things.
This is true. He is, for all of his
shortcomings.
Yes, thank you. For all of his shortcomings, Beldam is very skilled at healing. However, any doctor worth their salt will know that not all illnesses reveal themselves so readily.
Well, also,
For all we know, it could be off. Go ahead.
If we are in another plane of existence, then how would we know if it's something that we know in our world?
Exactly.
It could be something completely different.
Exactly. I'm not saying that is exactly what's going on here. For all I know, for all we know, we could be overly paranoid about such things. However, I feel as though the circumstances lend themselves more towards caution. It's only paranoid if it's baseless, after all. Now, I don't think we can really take anything for granted at this time. If anything else, the fact that we are apparently producing a very oily campfire lends itself towards lots of smoke, which should probably attract attention. Hopefully it is of the friendly sort.
Well, we can only hope.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any other signs of life aside from that ship. Even if it's just a few pirates or brigands. Our group should be able to handle them. I only saw 2 or 3.
You only saw 2 or 3. That doesn't mean there isn't anything there, though. I'm not doubting your skill. You've demonstrated that aptly many times over. But we both know that not everything is as it seems.
Well, how big is the ship?
He shrugs, Lurum shrugs, and he says, I'm not an expert on boats. It looked big. But all boats look big.
That's fair.
Well, what an astute observation.
He's not wrong.
Well, if it is a big ship, then there's probably more than 2 or 3 crew members. You would think they'd need at least 10 to man a big ship.
Lurum gestures back in the general direction of, like, where he found you guys. Yeah, but you never know. Their crew might have rocks on them, too.
And not only that, but notice how we didn't arrive in such a fashion. Just because the boat was there does not mean that it was only the crew that may have been transported there too.
Well, true.
Again, I may be overly cautious in such matters, but ever since the Pact became a force to enact its will upon this world, I feel that caution is not a misplaced thing.
Lurum points up at the sky and says, regardless, time is passing. The stars will be up soon. Make a choice. We can't talk forever.
Well, me and Peter can carry on the direction to the ship through the night if we want, but you could tell the refugees, unless we want to group back up with them, to make sure that they're not killing themselves with whatever the fuck is here.
I have no need to spend a night with those sniveling wetbacks. I will continue to scout through the skies, and at night, I will commune with the stars.
Actually, Lurum, I have an idea. Mr. Van Fuer and I will move ahead to investigate the shipwreck. If it turns out it's merely abandoned, we can move the refugees there and establish a more permanent base camp to reconnoiter the area. And you get a method of being able to have some place to rest and conduct rituals as needed without undue outside interference. So here's what I plan. Mr. Van Fuer, if he is willing, and I will move towards the ship and investigate it. You can stay inside your eagle form or whatever such method you decide to use to keep an eye on us, and can report to Bedlam and the soldiers if it turns out to be a hostile thing. And we can bring the refugees closer so that they may be able to bring their assistance forward. Or if all else fails, they can know to avoid this area, and you can continue on in trying to bring them to safety as the order contract has. But if it turns out it's friendly force, then grouping up and sharing resources can give us a better chance of surviving this.
Well, if that's what we want to do, we better get moving. I can see fairly well at night, but I don't know about you two, so we are kind of burning the daylight hours.
Yeah, Lurum sort of like horks a loogie and spits on the ground. He says, eye in the sky, just like the Crud Mountains all over again, Peter. I'll be there. I'll be watching. He birds himself once more and fucking rockets into the sky.
That is Quite the friend you have there, Peter.
Think of it like this. Laura may not be one for socializing or small talk, but above all, and above this, he's a dependable friend. You give him a task, or if you ask him to do something and he agrees to it, it's considered done.
Done.
Well, I suppose a friend like that is as close as family as you can get right now, so...
Indeed.
Well, we better get moving. We don't want to waste too much of the daylight hours.
Indeed.
Sooner we find people, the sooner we can get back home and I can enjoy a nice glass of wine.
Nice glass of wine.
A nice glass of wine.
It's the simple pleasures in life. But gentlemen, on that note, I must head to work.
All right, Toodles. Have fun. Oh, you're working.
Toodles.
What the fuck? Why are you working?
It's a weird schedule.
Yeah.
It's what basically I'm heading up there to act as another body for closing because the guy who's usually there, he's out of town. Bossman doesn't like us closing a convenience store at night by
That's
ourselves.
a fair statement. That's a good statement. All right. Well,
Yeah.
good luck. Stay safe. And we'll catch you up soon.
Thank you. It was fun. Y'all take care. God bless.
Toodles. Okay. Well, that being said, we're going to shift to Carlos and Isaac. Carlos and Isaac tracking
That's us.
gay niggers from outer space. Thank you. I just saw that.
That was a while ago.
Amazing. I know, but I haven't paid attention. That's not a while ago. It was sorry, I was looking at the Discord picture that he sent. I should clarify
Oh.
because he sent that at 8:53, and that was definitely not a while ago. That was a minute.
I was talking about the chat.
Yeah. I recognized the chat. I laughed at it when he sent it, but I saw the picture. It's wonderful. Thank you. Anyways, Carlos and Isaac, hello. You guys
Hello.
are tracking some tracks. You've seen a giant eagle, recognize that you're not in any danger, and you've continued following them northeast. I will... Oh. Okay, yeah. I will trail you. Sorry, I had my little pen like 8,000 times bigger than it needed to be. I'm going to replicate the little red line that you've taken so far. So you have done this. Either Vinshenzo or Nephis, if you guys want to put a little mark there where you guys are, like one of your dudes, the way Isaac did. You want to drag yourself, yeah, just like that. So that's where you guys are hanging out at. Isaac and company are there. You notice as you are descending this rather steep decline, this large river here. This big ass connection of rivers that go through a wetland. All of the water is sort of filtering out of small streams and brooks that are protruding through. I'm not going to get too complicated with geological techno mumbo jumbo, but the watershed of this island devolves into that riverbank or into that river system, is heading in the direction where all of your hands are currently pointed, right here. And this is what you see. You see this valley, and you can tell that the steps generally lead down to the hill roughly to the river. Of course, beyond that, your eyeballs, as eagle-eyed as you are, it's hard to discern footprints in a river a mile away. But as far as you're able to tell, it looks like Khutula probably went down towards that river.
All right.
You notice,
Assuming Carlos doesn't see this, I will point that out.
You also notice, sorry, that it's about mid-afternoon now. So whatever your desires and everything else, it is about mid-afternoon.
We should probably head back to the ship and meet up with the others. Tracks lead down towards the river, and it'll be quite a bit more tracking from here on out.
Are you sure? She could be in danger right now. We don't know what condition she was in. She was swept off of the boat.
Well, I don't really have a way of contacting the others without, going over there and talking to them. So,
Nephis is a skilled tracker. If they planned on following us, he'd be able to follow our tracks pretty easily, especially considering they're fresh, I imagine. And if worse came to worst, Vinshenzo would probably send a message to one of us.
all right. In that case, I guess we should continue down towards the river.
Indeed, if I was alone, I know I wouldn't want to be abandoned.
That's a fair statement. As you guys descend the hill towards the river, I'm just gonna put you there. In the time that follows, you see the eagle again. It's coming from sort of this direction, and it's flying overhead. Whether or not you find that interesting or not, it's just based on your passive perception. You continue following. Actually, Isaac, I'm going to get you to roll survival. I believe that was the last roll I made you make for the tracking, because you're entering into a different system.
18
plus.
No, 18 total.
How is it that you roll a 6 and get a fucking 18? Fuck you, Jesus
He has
Christ.
like plus 10.
Yeah,
I have
know.
expertise in survival,
This
athletics,
guy.
and perception. Those are my three main things.
What's Steve Irwin? That's what you are. You're Steve Irwin.
Yeah. If that's bad to you, don't look at my acrobatics or sleight of hand.
I'm not going to. It's been a little while since I realized how crazy good you guys are doing all the stuff you do.
We're level 10.
I know you're level 10.
You're level 10.
You
We're
guys
only
are the
halfway
first.
there.
You're the first party that I've ever been capable of DMing for that's made it to level 10. So after like taking a hiatus from this and then coming back to it after 2 months, it boggles my mind that you guys are this awesome. But it's because I've never witnessed level 10 before. So
Hell yeah.
give me the chance. I'm impressed and awed by your proficiency. Anyways, so you make it to the river. You're tracking Khutula, no problem. Or you make it down into the basin, I should say. You can track in Khutula, no problem. And you notice. Actually, roll my perception. I'm going to make this.
Can I roll perception too?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Something decent.
24.
22.
Oh, fuck, that was really good. To the south of you, marching from here to here, you see two figures that are far enough away that you can't see them perfectly, but close enough that you can tell that there appears to be two humans.
Spyglass.
Are you sorry? Do you have your spyglass, or are you now currently spyglassing?
I am pulling out the spyglass to look at them now because you said nothing was broken, so I would have had that on me.
Yeah, it's true. You would have had that on you. Okay, so you pull out your spyglass and you see Peter Montfort and a half elf. They're just trudging across a wetland.
I lower the spyglass, rub my eyes, and then I look again.
You see Peter Montfort and a half elf.
I'm squinting in their direction.
I see Peter and a half elf.
Peter?
Over
Yes.
that way. Yeah.
Peter Montfort.
Yeah.
The cleric.
Yes. I hand Carlos the spyglass and point.
Well, I'll be. I never thought I'd see him again.
Carlos, as you look through the spyglass, you see Peter Montfort and a half elf trudging across a swamp.
Should we get their attention? Can we from here?
How far in distance, roughly?
Let me just take a look at this scale here.
If I make my voice 3 times as loud and shout, will he hear me?
They are roughly 2.4 kilometers away from you.
Oh. Yeah, that's... That
I
is
wish I could
fucking
make my
far.
dick 3 times as long.
Well, as crazy of a coincidence as it is, and as much as I'd like to get their attention, they're clearly alright. We should probably keep looking for Khutula. Can you tell how old her tracks are?
Can I?
Working off of your, 32 tracking or whatever it is, you can tell that it's... These tracks are... How do I say this? They're about as fresh as you've seen them because you've been following basically they must have been 2 or 3 hours old by the time you got up to the ship, so they are still 2 or 3 hours old.
I tell Carlos this, and that this means that she's been moving at a constant pace, just as we have.
Well, at least she's healthy enough to move on her own then. That's good. Still, she's alone. We should find her.
Yeah.
And it looked like Peter was heading towards our shipwreck, so maybe he'll run into the others.
Yeah.
This is true.
There aren't any irregularities in the tracks, are there? Like she is wounded or anything? Or like she's carrying something heavy?
Oh.
Ooh, that's a good question. Would you like to investigate the tracks? Or
Yes, and I will use my tactical assessment maneuver on top of that.
Damn.
Because my investigation is shit.
I think Isaac is secretly Batman. Isaac is the Bruce
19.
Wayne of the Batman world. 19. Oh, wow.
Wow.
These
He doesn't
tracks...
talk much, and he wants to fight everyone.
These tracks are perfect. It's just a casual gait.
Huh.
Normal distance, even, proper foot declination, I guess you could say. Like, the tracks are...
How
Text.
queer.
Okay, well. Okay. In that case, we continue.
So as you're reaching the river, you notice that the tracks wind north, following the estuary. Sorry, not the estuary. Following the waterways. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong button. So you'll be going up this way. I'm gonna put you there. Yes, sir. And we reach. I know it's 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's been slow. We reach crew number 2, which is Nephis and Vinshenzo, followed/led by Amithray, and you guys have progressed up the slope. Vinshenzo, given the fact that nobody has dealt with Alpiner, as you're climbing up this big ass mountain right here, Amithray does actually attempt to make a nice thing about it. She says she stops you before you guys get into view, and she says, "Vinshenzo, your dog is ahead." And then she turns around and keeps walking.
There was an attempt.
She said it
Attempt was
nicely.
made.
Vinshenzo avoids laying eyes upon the dog.
Okay. As
Hell
you
yeah.
as you get past the site in question, she turns around and she says, "Vinshenzo, it's okay now." And she keeps on walking.
What a caring wife.
She's quite caring if you know anything about her.
this is very caring compared to how she normally is.
I'm sure I'm like secretly butchering the character that is Amithray,
It's okay.
and Seeker's like quietly dying. But you know
okay.
what? I can only do as much as I can. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not sorry.
It's like, I know you're butchering it, but it's okay.
There's a potential
No,
in the
it's-
future that she might undergo a dramatic personality change, and that's entirely
Hell.
within acceptability. Anyway, so you guys make it up to this quarter ship. Nephis, you see the debris, the absolute total destruction on your way up. You notice all of the different bits of ship, and when you get there, you see the ass end of the boat that you guys had locked yourselves in combat with before this crazy cataclysm has happened, with all the craziness in between. Same with you, Vinshenzo, but I don't know. Nephis likes boats. He might be interested in how totally destroyed this thing is.
Upon seeing the shipwreck, he says, "I suppose we can consider ourselves lucky."
It's absolutely obliterated.
Aye.
As you guys reach said ship, there is a gigantic eagle perched on top of the keel, which I will remind you is it's in the air. So the ship itself is sort of upside down, and it's perched on the bottom of the top of the ship.
The top of the bottom of the ship.
Top of the bottom of the ship.
Yeah.
It makes
And
sense.
it watches you.
Nephis rests his hand on his hilt of his blade. Following Amithray.
Vinshenzo does too.
Oh,
The eagle remains what
Stoic.
seems to be a defiant moment longer after you guys make yourselves I don't know how to describe that, but as you perform this action of don't fuck with me, it remains a defiant moment longer, and then turns its head in an aloof manner and flaps off into the distance.
My other hand
Eventually,
shielding
sort of-
myself from the sun.
Amazing. So Amithray leads you sort of not directly under the ship, but directly sort of adjacent to where they'd found the shattered Suncaster, which is next to a small bluff of rocks. And she sort of turns around, as a matter of fact, and says, "We're here now. This is where we shall wait for your friends." And she sits down on a rock.
Is the shattered Suncaster on the ground visible?
Sorry, the shattered Suncaster charge, which is on the ground visible. It's actually like pretty much adjacent to her. She sat down on a rock that is next to the bauble. The bauble.
Vinshenzo
The valve-
gingerly
the valve
bends
bang,
down
bang,
and
bang,
picks
bang.
up the Suncaster charge, or what remains of it.
So as you do that, about half of the intricate glass and brass framework of it sort of falls away as you pick it up, and the crystal slides loosely into your fingers as it disintegrates slightly in your hand. Still half there though.
I am in great despair if I am to learn that Khutula has perished.
walking up beside Vinshenzo, Nephis rests his hand on his shoulder. We'll find her. If the others have picked up her trail, I'm sure they'll be able to find something. She's strong.
Yes.
Nephis gives
See?
Vin a pat and then sits.
Yee. Xavier Van Fear, along with
Yee.
Peter Montfort, who's become stoically quiet, and I'm not going to pretend to be Peter. He left very inconveniently. That's okay, though. So you guys have headed across the shitty marshlands. You climbed up this stupidly steep hill. I'm impersonating the way I perceive that you would perceive the environment around you. I don't know if you're a nature lover or not, but so you head across the marshlands, ascend a mountain, and eventually upon receiving some extra guidance from the eagle as it is swooped around, the eagle in the form of, or Lurum in the form of the eagle. That's the right way to do it. He sort of does a couple passes, and Peter informs you that he's leading you in the right direction. You eventually see the upside down keel of a ship that is stuck in between a bunch of trees, oddly.
Well,
Peter-
that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, Peter stops appropriately and points, just in case you didn't see it, but you saw it too. And beneath this ship are 3 figures who happen to just kind of be standing around / sitting on some rocks.
Can
directly
I,
beneath.
sorry, can I retroactively do something?
Absolutely. What would you like to do?
Can I retroactively make a determined stirring speech of motivation to find Khutula to Nephis and Amethray and give them both bardic inspiration?
I will allow you to retroactively, determinedly speech them into getting bardic inspiration, yes.
For the next 10 minutes.
Nice. Well, this is like an hour after. I should have proclaimed that afterwards, but yeah, it's like been an hour that you guys are just sitting and waiting, and
Okay. You don't
Isaac
have...
and Carlos still haven't shown up. I was gonna say that to you after, but you sort of
I'm sorry.
allowed me. No, there's nothing wrong. Anyways, so it's been an hour, just so you're aware, Nephis and Vin, that you've been sort of waiting for Carlos and Isaac to show up. They're still not back.
Every
Xavier,
moment we wait here is another moment that we could have helped her.
Yes. Xavier, you notice these 3 individuals. Peter
Yes.
Peter recognizes them. I feel like he would loudly proclaim something, given what he's done so far in this session. He would loudly be
Yes.
like, "Hey! Hey, it's you
Friends!"
guys!" Which means that Vinshenzo and Nephis, from like a distance away, you hear a very familiar voice calling out from like basically like the direction of a bunch of trees, and you hear, "Hey! Hey, it's you guys! Hey, hello! Hi, Vinshenzo! Hi, Nephis!"
A GN from OS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I take it you know these people?
I'm
Peter?
not gonna try and impersonate Peter any more than I just did. But he acknowledges
Yes.
that he knows these people in a Peter Montfort-esque way, and he leads you towards the group, walking very confident that he's not going to get stabbed or anything. Amethray immediately gets spooked, and she gets ready to draw a blade at the sight of the stranger who she knows nothing about. But Nephis and Vinshenzo, you see Peter Montfort and a half-elf walk out of the trees.
Vinshenzo grabs Amethray's wrist and says, "It is Timora's blessing that he is sent to us. This is a friend. And a friend of a friend is also a friend, my dear."
Amethray squints at you and says, "After everything you've been through, after everything we've been through, do you really trust your eyes?"
Yes, perhaps more than yours.
Oof.
She squints harder, and then stays her sword in the sense that she doesn't draw it further than you've blocked her.
He is a friend, Amethray.
Let me rephrase that. She doesn't back down, but she doesn't force herself against you.
That's right.
Know your place, woman.
Nephis stands to his feet with hands still on hilt, with a confused face, waiting for the 2 to approach.
Well, Peter gets up to you guys, and he says, "Wow, fancy seeing you here," or something Peter-esque. And then he introduces Xavier as Xavier Van Fier. and he introduces Xavier to Vinshenzo, Cairona, Nephis, and a Drow lady who he does not know.
Vinshenzo offers to shake hands with, is it Fenrir? Fenrir? Sorry, I wrote it down, but I...
Vanfear?
Vanfear, sorry. He offers to shake hands with Mr. Vanfear.
He obliges and shakes his hand. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance, Mr. Cairona.
Yes, Baron Cairona.
Ah, another of noble lineage.
Yes, perhaps you've heard of that great house, Cairona.
I vaguely remember hearing that name somewhere before.
Oh,
It is quite a relief to gaze upon another of noble blood. Seems that Peter keeps quite good company these days. I wish I could say the same.
Nephis squints at Vin.
As a joke.
and Three also squints at Vin.
She's okay. Everyone didn't like that.
Nobody liked that.
Just like that.
Just pops up. Isaac didn't like that. Carlos didn't like that.
I'm
They
gonna
weren't even
trash
there.
all of my company in front of my friend and my wife.
I'm gonna trash my company for this random fucking person I just met.
Hey, you
Yes.
dress nice. I dress nice. We should be friends.
Vin would be dressed nice as well, but some articles of his fine clothes are missing, I guess. His jacket is missing, so he just has, like... He looks dressed down, but he has fine garments.
If any of your shit's damaged, I feel like Peter Montfort would offer to mending it for you.
Now, remember I ditched my bloody jacket in the vampire house.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
remember that,
anything
but
else?
thank you for reminding me.
Anything else that you're
Anything
wearing?
else?
I don't know
Hello,
what I have
Vinshenzo.
that's broken.
Your loincloth, maybe? Ooh. Just kidding, sorry.
I would tell Peter and Van Bjorn. I forget his name. Sorry.
Bjorn.
I already forgot it. I'm
Van
sorry.
He's Nordic.
Van Fear. Well, you wanted to repair the ship. Finally got one, Peter. It's on the shore. It's not this thing. All right.
Xavier, I'm letting you entirely handle this conversation. The only reason being is because I don't want to put words into Peter's mouth more than I already have, just because he's an actual player. NPCs I don't mind fucking around with, but players I try not to color the interactions up
Yes.
too much.
Well, the ship is fine and dandy and all, but where are we? How are we supposed to know where to go if we don't know where we are?
We're still figuring that out. We're missing one of our party members, Khutula, a little Dragonborn. And he measures his hand out to her height.
Once we find her, we'll make way to the nearest settlement where we can find accommodations.
Aye. We believe we're in Morrowind, but I'm not so sure.
Well, all of Peter's friends seem to have this feeling that we are not in our realm anymore. As far as I know, this just seems like a normal island, but they seem to feel this is not normal place.
It's not an island. Is it?
Well, I don't know. I've just been walking around, just luckily enough to find Peter and his friends.
So
They have a
does
bunch
this...
of refugees
Sorry.
that they need shelter with.
Does this
So-
map represent Morrowind as far as like its coastline? Are there any islands on Morrowind that aren't represented there?
Are you asking me out of character?
I'm asking you out of character, but I'll roll dice to know my knowledge of the geological coastline of Morrowind. Sure.
Sure, just in case. I want to make sure I give you the answer that's appropriate. That's all.
Well, I'm just asking if I would know if Morrowind has islands. On this map, there aren't any visible, but since it's a 500-mile scale map, then maybe some are so small that we can't see them. Like a 40-kilometer island, we wouldn't see.
Yeah. Roll me history, just in case.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
I'm good at that. History is +6. Oh, I got a 9. Archipelagos. I got
What's
a
the total?
9.
A 9. You have no fucking idea where you are.
That's not what I'm asking.
This does not, based on everything you're able to comprehend about Morrowind, this does not seem like any of the potential islands that are off the coast. Everything that you see on the map, the world map, is everything you would know about Morrowind. So there's no islands of any size or portent on the coast of Morrowind that would be this big. Like, there's no way.
So
There's no way that this
Vinshenzo
is-
thinks that there are no islands of Morrowind that would be like this.
Yeah, but currently
Okay.
Vinshenzo's also, just to state as fairness, Vinshenzo's also currently not in a place where he can look around and see that he is on an island. He has to trust that this half-elf saying what he said is either true or untrue. But
Right,
based on what
but,
Vinshenzo has seen, all that kind of stuff.
What I'm asking
This-
is if Vinshenzo can recall the geography of Morrowind. He's not He's not recalling any knowledge related to what this guy is talking about.
Yeah, no. Never mind. So with a history roll of 9 to try and recall the geography of Morrowind, you have a very foggy memory and you can't properly recall. That makes more sense
Okay.
to me. That is a more appropriate answer.
I don't know if Morrowind has any islands.
Well, from what I've recalled from where I've gone, I can't recall any islands on Morrowind either. This seems to be the right temperature area for it to be Morrowind, but that's not all I
Yes.
have.
I've traveled a bit in Morrowind, but I am not native to it, as I'm sure you can tell.
Well, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to come off as rude, but yes.
Oh, well, I certainly respect your manners. Thank you.
Well, do you know which direction your friends have gone to find your missing companion?
Emma 3 points vaguely northeast.
Yeah. Mr.
How long were they
Stormwind
supposed
and Mr. Carlos had set off in that direction quite a while ago.
Amathray, how long were they supposed to be gone for?
Oh, I told them that I would be going back to the ship and bringing you here, so I assumed that they would have known that it would take us roughly 2 hours. I'm not sure where they are, of course, but I expected them to be back any time now.
Perhaps we wait a little longer, and if not, I could track them. Perhaps
Emma
they ran out of
3.
trouble.
Amathri looks visibly displeased, and she says, perhaps they are. Maybe if you were to track ahead just a ways and see if you can see anything obviously wrong, and then please make sure to return to us, unlike your comrades who clearly didn't listen.
Aye. Nephis grabs his gear and gives Peter a firm handshake and Xavier a pat on the shoulder and walks past the two.
Do not let your ambition be our undoing, Amathray.
You get a squint.
What biome are we in? What Minecraft biome?
The Minecraft biome that you're currently in is it's forest.
Would it be considered forest?
Oh man,
Okay.
we're
it's
in
forest.
Minecraft.
Mining away.
So that is one of my favorite terrains for Natural Explorer.
Sir?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So let me just.
Shall I accompany you, Mr. Nephis, so you at least have... We aren't sending people willy-nilly into the wilderness by themselves.
If you please. It won't be long, though.
I'll come with you, just in case. We already have one missing. One of our cohort currently missing, and I'd hate to add another to that.
Well,
Okay, so I would like to go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, have fun with my wife.
well, I don't know how much supplies you have, but we have some more mouths that need feeding, and if we could pool our supplies, it would make it much easier for us all to get out of this situation in one piece. I'm sure Peter and his cleric friends would be very appreciative.
Giving a sigh, Nephis kind of looks up and he says, "There were some fish barrels that we had in the lower deck of mine," and he explains where it is, the ship. It's off towards the coast, and if that won't do, my horse, it's perished. You could at least salvage the meat from her.
Peter offers to go and fetch the other refugees and bring them to the ship. That way they're all in one spot.
How many people are currently of Peter's and Xavier's group? How many are there right now, or is it just Peter and Xavier?
On the mountaintop with you guys at the ship, it's just Peter and Xavier.
Okay.
However, Peter freely discloses to you that he has 5, 8, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 others in his party, and he says most of them are refugees, and then he says some of them are soldiers.
Vinshenzo reaches into his pack before he steps off with Nephis and tosses Xavier and Peter one ration each and says, "I'd hate to see one of my peers go hungry."
I'm sure Peter would give you a blessing to Ilmater or some shit like that.
Yes.
Very appreciative of your kindness, Mr. Cairona.
I don't have much on me, but we must work together. Certainly.
Your wife snidely comments from the rear saying, "That's because you threw everything else in the sea."
Well, I still have plenty of coin in my pouch if you'd like to feast upon it, Amathray. Shall we get moving, Mr. Nephis?
And he begins walking, makes a grunt. I would like to track Carlos's and Mr. Stormwind's feet.
Survival. Can't kill you. Although
That's a
you.
14.
Oh,
It's a
hell
14. Oh, wow. Given the fact that neither Isaac nor Carlos were doing very, very much to disguise their presence, I would say that with a 14, you see their little footprints in the snow, so to speak.
In the snow? I thought this was tropical.
Yeah, I was being metaphorical.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
In the gloop.
In the gloop, yeah, you see the signs of their passing. the little. Does Carlos wear boots? Now that he's a kobold.
He's a freak.
No.
Okay, so you see his little footprints, and then you see Isaac's boot prints.
He's an unmannered beast.
And speaking of, sorry, Xavier, are you moving with them, or are you gonna stay with Amethray? I'm asking.
I don't know.
It's up to you. It's up to you. You're the master of your own destiny, there, big fella.
I'm having
Make things-
domestic problems. Do you want to spend time with
You
my
wanna
wife?
You want to stay and listen to my bitch of a wife, or you want to come off into the woods with me and the boys?
Well, I've already been walking for a while. I might as well walk some more. I guess I will follow you guys.
Stupid bitch.
Are you sure you do not want to keep your wife with you?
She is quite capable.
Yeah, she'll wait for the trackers just in case they come back to the ship. The shipwreck.
I gave up on trying to preserve my walking shoes quite some time ago.
I begin tracking the creature, which is Carlos.
The creature that is Carlos.
He got that animal in him.
He's got that knotted kobold in him.
Oh.
So speaking of, we're going to quickly shift to Isaac and Carlos.
Okay.
Hello, Isaac
Okay.
and Carlos.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So you guys are tracking for another roughly hour's worth of good fun time north. As you get push you a little bit farther down that estuary, as you get down the river, you notice that Khutula's tracks are joined by two more sets of footprints that are approximately larger than she is.
Oh.
Are the footprints like obvious enough for Carlos to notice?
They're fucking obvious.
Carlos gives Isaac a
Roll
worried
to,
look.
roll to determine what the footprints are.
All right, roll to determine.
What skill?
It's gonna be nature.
Oh, 23.
Oh.
23. These are troll footprints.
Oh.
Oh.
And
Two
are
sets.
they following, or were they?
They are the same. It looks in your expert tracker eye, Batman. It looks as though they're the same time period. They're about as old as Cthulhu's footprints. These troll footprints. There's definitely two sets of prints. And they're carrying on sort of along the contours of the river that you guys have been following for about an hour.
I pick up the pace.
Shit.
Carlos is glad that he picked up the pace. It's kind of weird.
We haul ass.
Oh.
Okay. Which means that we're gonna just move Vinshenzo. So we'll get you another hour down the road.
Imagine
What
getting
happened?
sucked through a wormhole and getting warped and seeing a black guy on the other side. I would be so disappointed.
Day one.
So another hour's worth of hurried tracking goes by. And given that I'm following contours of the river, you guys get to there just because it's... and you still two sets of troll footprints and Khutula prints.
Oh. Shit.
Sorry, say that again.
2 sets of
sorry.
troll footprints and Cthulhu
Isaac and
prints.
Carlos
but we
traveled
don't
another
see it.
hour following 2 sets of troll
Okay.
footprints. You guys have spent another hour sort of walking after Isaac and Carlos's footprints, which are following Cthulhu's footprints.
Continue tracking at the same pace.
All right. So you guys have been gone for at this point in time. It's more towards Vin and Vinshenzo, Cairona, and Nephis. How long do you guys want to fuck around in the woods before you head back to Super Base?
If you said it's been an hour, then now would be a good time. I would tap Vin on the chest and say, I don't see any more footprints of them returning on the same path. We should return to them in case they did take another means back.
Did we lose the path though? Are there tracks?
No. You've been tracking
no
them for an
returning
hour.
Footprints.
Perhaps they found Khutula.
But how far they went, I don't know. It's been hours.
Hasn't it been an hour?
You've been tracking them
Since
for
they
1 hour
separated
so
from
far.
Amathray.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you can cover quite the distance.
It's been
on foot,
2.
yeah.
At this point in time, it's been 3 hours since they have separated from Amathray. It's been 1 hour that you guys have been tracking their footprints.
Aye.
Amathray can take care of herself. Khutula, I am not so sure.
Then would you like to leave? Tell your wife. Send her a magical. And he waves his hands. Thing.
Magical
The
thing.
messaging. And then he points.
Yes, yes. Let's continue on, Mr. Nephis.
Aye.
I don't do that.
That bitch can be left on red.
Oh my god. Would you like me to roll again for tracking?
Yes, please. You're also descending into non-forest territory.
Oh.
28.
Damn.
Wow, it doesn't fucking matter, I guess.
Also, while we travel, we're not impeded by difficult terrain.
Oh, nice.
Hell
And I
yeah.
remain alert at all time while navigating and tracking.
Nice. All right, well, seeing as you're not impeded at all by difficult terrain and all that other good stuff, so you make it down to about here. Oh, sorry, that is it doesn't. Anyways, so you guys down there, and Isaac, Stormwind, and Carlos, as you guys mess about, you get a lot closer to what now you're very obviously looking at is the coast, and you see off in the distance a what looks to be a ramshackle hut. Gesundheit.
FBI, open up.
I said off in the distance. I mean like kilometers off in the distance.
Jesus
There
Christ.
is a what looks to be a ramshackle fishing hut that
Oh.
looks like it's in one piece, but it seems like it was washed ashore. You're looking at it from the distance, truly. You can see it far away down on the shore.
Do
Ask
the
Isaac
tracks
if
lead
yeah.
there, or are they going somewhere else?
The tracks are still following the river. This is just the first very obvious sign of any sort of civilization that you've seen in a little while. Actually, sorry, not in a little while. Ever since you got on the island, aside from the shipwreck. It's the first building you've seen.
Hell yeah.
I make a mental note of it. That we should probably check it out, but Khutula first.
I will state that the river does sort of like flow in that general direction, I don't want to make it seem super obvious that that's where the footprints go, because that's not what I'm trying to correlate the two. It's just the river's going that way, and down on the coastline, there's a ramshackle fishing hut that's been washed ashore.
Alright, well, footprints first.
All right.
Show
Carlos
us Khutula.
and Isaac. So we are going to. We're just going to advance the.
Oh,
So you
did
guys
Peter
are out
come
here.
with us, I wonder?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Peter went back to
Oh,
find the
Peter went to-
refugees.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
And take
sorry.
them to the ship.
Da-na-na-na.
Lorge.
Look, a hut. It's got its own grid and everything.
Wow.
Because I'm
Holy
fucking
shit.
cool.
Oh, is that freaking Dungeon Alchemist? Hell yeah, dude.
Yes, sir. Because I'm not as smart as I like to give myself credit for the river out the estuary. Now it is properly termed an estuary. The estuary is not on this map, but this is the ramshackle cottage, and eventually the footprints lead as though they are facing, or lead in the direction of the cottage. You guys would be coming from that corner there.
Alright. I will use this extra one. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Who's that? Oh, hello. Hi, Ben.
Oh.
He's muted. That's okay. So yeah, you guys
Hello?
are in that corner. The environment has changed from being
Unhand that tiny dragonborn.
it's gone from being what looks like temperate woodland to, as you can see, like fairly dense, close in jungle. Holy shit.
Welcome to the jungle.
I'm not impressed with my work. I'm just impressed with like the general like quality that this map was able to be exported in. That's actually quite nice. Stop. Sorry.
Yeah, you'll find that Tabletop Simulator will be the limiter as far as quality goes. You can only upload to a certain resolution.
Yeah, but I know this is quite nice. Anyways, so this is what you guys, this is where you guys are, and you are generally aware that there is the shack. Yeah. And you are generally aware that you are. Yeah.
We should probably be a little more careful on our way
Yeah.
up there.
I'm going to attempt to sneak up, although I am in half plate, so that's not really gonna help, but I will
That's
try.
called stealth at a disadvantage.
The best, but I think I can compensate.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's 10. $17.
I'll do my best, he says, rolling better than the rogue.
To be fair, I'm not super specialized in stuff.
Fair statement. All right, well, you guys are...
Guidance kind of saved my ass.
God says, let there be sneak. And there was sneak.
There was sneak and it was good.
10... Was it 15 and 17?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have those written down. All right, so you can sneak your way on a little bit closer.
I think the foliage is covering the grid.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
don't think it
see
matters
that.
right now.
I don't think it matters at all. I feel as though that it's gonna matter when it gets to the place where the grid is.
At least it's visible over there.
Visible. Yeah. I'd say you guys should be able to get up to like here, or at least to the rock face before your stealth matters.
Now there's 2 grids. I can't tell what's going on. So we're good. I lost myself for a moment.
Alright, so you've gotten up to a clearing. It's quite dense underbrush, so it's hard to see whatever's beyond, sadly.
Do we hear anything from beyond?
That's a very good question. Why don't you roll some perception?
You know it.
Oh no, that was the wrong. Oh well.
Oh, baby. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh.
28.
29.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, well, you definitely hear things. You hear what sounds to be the low muttering conversation of 3 old ladies. You also hear a bubbling, what sounds like a pot that's bubbling slowly. You also hear all of the general nature sounds that you would hear in a environment such as this.
Okay.
But no Khutula.
You do not specifically hear the sounds of Khutula in any way, shape, or form, no.
I'd like to sneak up to a window. Is there a window?
Yeah, it's hard to see on this map.
I
there's a
will.
window.
I will move up a little bit, but I will hold in the like tree line, and let our actual
here.
sneaky boy do this.
There, and there.
I'll probably want to sneak up to this.
Whoa, that's pretty fucking fast there, big fella. Why don't we like go from tree
Whoa.
line to tree line here? Jesus Christ. Let me
Fine.
like reveal a thing at a time.
So where can I go?
To the edge of the tree line. Give me
Okay.
the ability to like give you an environment to react to before you
I'll
like
go here, using
zippity
the
zoop.
overturned rowboat as cover.
Fast travels through Skyrim. Gets upset when he finds a giant 2 feet away from him because he didn't fucking regular travel.
Man, fuck that giant.
That's
Let
not
me see
what
if I can find-
Kardoc was saying. Come on, Quiff.
Sneak through the woods, through the open ground, to the window.
To the wall.
Tell us what runs down my balls.
Oh, skeek skeek mother. Song.
Yeah.
Skeet, motherfucker. Skeet, gosh
Here we go.
darn.
That's what I'm saying.
Not elegant noblewoman. Want female commoner.
What's it, Harvey?
Oh, I don't need 4 of them.
I guess I could have sent message to Isaac and asked him where he was. Oh well.
All right, so you notice that there are these 3 lovely ladies
Oh,
just hanging out.
sweeping the dirt.
Well, yeah, they're all of them are sweeping the
Sorry.
dirt around this campfire. It's okay. It's the way it is. You know how it be with these common folk always sweeping.
Filthy peasants.
What's a queer?
This one is what a queer congregation. This woman is like actively stirring the pot. This woman appears to be patching her dress with a needle and thread, and this woman appears to be sipping on a cup of tea. All of them look pretty ugly. They're ugly and
Oh.
disfigured and not witch-like, but each and
Do
every
they
single one
look
of them
like hags?
They gross.
No, they don't. They look like battered old fishermen's wives. Which, if the immediate thought that gets put in your head, that visualization, that's what they look like. They look like battered
Abused.
old fishermen's
Fish
wives.
wives.
Yeah, fishwives.
They can clean a fish.
I ask Isaac if he sees any tracks from Khutula from where he is.
As far as I'm understanding, you're the only one up there by himself, but I'm not paying too much close attention to the map because
I said I was moving up.
Okay,
to the tree
okay,
line.
okay, okay. I just said I didn't see it. I didn't say it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
If he didn't see it, it didn't happen.
That's how that works.
Isaac was very stealthy.
Sneakily look around and try and see if I see Kahula's tracks.
Roll me. That's gonna be because you're not really able to track from long range.
It'd be more like what, perception or investigation, I guess, just to see if you could.
I'm saying perception because he's investigating with his eyes from long range.
Oof.
16. I have perception 10. Kinda
Okay,
saves my
so
ass.
you see the tracks lead to about here, and then they get lost in a general other footprints of this path that's sort of been worn into the grass.
I whisper to Carlos that they went up to the house and then got lost in the rest.
So she was definitely here. You have two options. I can try to sneak up to that window and see if I can see anything inside, or one of us can talk with them and see if they've seen her. They don't seem overly hostile or dangerous.
It might be to a kobold.
Does Isaac say anything about that?
Sorry, I was looking at range for a spell.
How far can I kill them from here?
No, that was not what I was doing. I wanted to see how far my detect magic would actually go if I cast it.
Oh.
How far would it go?
Only 30 feet, I believe.
Wow. So not quite to them. Yeah, I ask. I basically tell Isaac, we have two options. One of us can speak with them. They don't seem overly dangerous. Or Carlos can go try to look in through the windows and see if he can see any sign of Khutula.
What about both? I go and talk to them, and you try and take a peek.
That's a good idea. If you come from, if you circle back and come from that other direction, should pull their eyes away from me. It'd make it a lot easier to get to that window.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll.
Isaac is thinking with portals.
I will work my way around to the other side.
Carlos waits for his opportunity.
I'm gonna get Isaac to roll stealth, even though it's a fucking academic point at this. But yeah, I'm gonna get Isaac to roll stealth with your disadvantage because you're wearing half plate. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no!
That's a 12.
12? I mean, 12.
Yeah.
He has high dex.
Proficiency in stealth.
At least it wasn't a 1.
Yeah, at least it wasn't that.
He has high dex too.
All right, so Isaac makes his way up to the tree line, and neither of the three fishermen's wives seem as though they are paying attention to him. They don't seem to notice that he's even existing.
I wait for him to make contact.
I announce myself just after getting out of the brush. Hello.
All three of them seem a little bit startled to see you.
I approach a little bit, and I go, hi, my companions and I shipwrecked on this island, and we lost one of our companions, and
I take this
tracks led here. So wondering if you'd seen her. A little dragonborn, about yay high.
The most prominent one, we'll say this one here, she seemed quite surprised and taken aback at your initial appearance, and then as you get closer, she her features change from a an expression of surprise to one of pleasure. I don't want to say not pleasure, sorry, one of joy to see you coming closer. She's like, "Ah, yes, hello, dearie. Oh, we were quite afraid that we'd be here on our own. Oh, you see, you're looking for a friend. Well, you found 3 friends right here. Come sit by the fire, please. Rest your weary bones."
What a queer old lady.
Get a little closer, but I still keep some distance.
Okay.
And then I reiterate the question if she's seen the Dragonborn.
Oh, Dragonborn! I've seen many Dragonborn back in my day. I'm from. Well, I don't quite know where I am now, but I used to be from a place where Dragonborn came quite commonly. Yes, I knew many Dragonborn back in my day. Please come sit by the fire. Tell me more about your friend. Maybe it'll jog my memory. Would you like some tea? She points at the pot. Maybe some stew, perhaps? The broth is just boiling. It's quite lovely. She pats. I know it doesn't show it on the map. She's sitting on like a little log.
No, I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I go. Is your memory? Are your memories that bad? She would have been here no more than 2 hours ago.
Oh, 2 hours ago? And she looks at her friends, and they nod their heads. Oh, you mean the young lass? Oh, yes, she came by 3 hours ago. She wandered out of the woods. She was so tired. She had a little kip in the hut. She's still asleep there. Fast asleep. Why don't you sit down by the fire? We'll go wake her up when it's time.
No, I'd rather see her now.
Oh, well. Kardoc, you got 13 perception? Sorry, I'm doing 2 things at once.
Whoa.
You see a dusty, old, shitty, ramshackle fisherman's hut that looks like it had been through an earthquake.
Oof. Yeah, I climbed through the window.
Also, it's waterlogged. Okay, you climb through the window. Roll me stealth. It's an old, shitty, like, everything about this entire house is structurally unstable.
Oh.
You definitely know that you could have done a much better job at sneaking through this window. There's some creaks, and as soon as you get in, like, you touch a floorboard and it squeaks. And as you sort of, like, internally, like, fucking clench the butthole, the fact that you made this noise, you wait for something to happen, but didn't seem like...
Do the old women say anything or react
Carlos
to this?
doesn't know this, but you are aware that they didn't seem to change their focus, but you also don't know at what point in time he fucked off into the window because you can't see him.
I just heard a noise, and
what's your passive perception?
20.
Yeah, you heard everything, all of the sounds. So never mind, you were acutely aware of the fact that Carlos just bumbled his way in through an old shitty window and, like, started tap dancing on a broken floor. But those 3 ladies are just eyeballing you up, like the young stud
if they're not paying attention, that I don't have to run interference. So good.
I think you're already running enough interference as it is.
They be out there, eyes.
I imagine this is a door, right?
Yeah, that's a door.
Okay, so I want to move here. Do I see anything?
So, what you see there is this barrel full of what is effectively putrid water.
Ugh.
There is a chest. Here is a little, like, cook fireplace, a hearth, if you will. With some glowing embers. This door, it's closed, but there's not a whole lot left to the door, so you know that you could see through it just by the state of it, but you currently, from your position, cannot see through it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Carlos eyes the chest for a few moments, but he decides that it is less of a concern right now and moves towards the door.
Okay. Looking in through the door, you don't see anything that looks like Khutula. However, you do see the layout that is here, sort of thing. So you see this like broken barrel and this shitty wood floor.
But there are blind spots to what I can see.
Yeah, the door is not like, it's not destroyed. It's just a garbage piece of crap, fucking shattered door, so you can see through it. You're like,
is it locked?
No, it's not locked, but roll me stealth at disadvantage.
Oh.
Disadvantage. The bitch.
Yep.
Condition of the thing.
Yeah.
Didn't say I knocked on it, but okay.
I know, but you said you tested it.
Test it. Well, I pass anyway, I guess.
Hell
26
yeah.
would be the lowest.
Dude.
26 is the lowest? Okay. You test it gingerly, and just in time before anything's possible to happen, you are aware that this thing is like, it's basically floating on its hinges, so even the softest touch would have made it just open, but because you're a sly, sleuthy character, you're able to negate that. But you are acutely aware of the fact that the moment this door moves on its hinges, it's just going to make a huge fucking sound.
Oh.
Alright, what's the range on Earring of Message? Like 120 feet?
I will tell you when I Google Earring of Message.
I want to say. I don't think I wrote it down anywhere, unfortunately.
I wrote it down in a notebook 3 months ago.
That's been lost to time.
3 months ago. Earring of Message casts the message spell, which is 120 feet.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Point
so
your
I'm
finger
gonna.
toward a creature within range and whisper message.
That
Oh.
blue crystal is wrapped with a delicate copper wire. The earring has 5 charges. While wearing it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge and cast the message spell. Does not say anything about the actual actions of the message spell. I will just point that out for the sake of pointing it out.
Outstanding. Yeah, so it just uses the message spell. Yeah, so I'm gonna use that.
I see you having to tap your ear like a Secret Service agent, not having to like point directly at somebody and whisper.
Probably. Yeah. Makes sense.
Tap your ear, make a constipation face, send a message with your brain.
Alright. I send a message to Isaac.
Do you make a constipation face?
Yeah, I did.
Go.
What would that even look like on a kobold?
I don't want to know.
Not pleasant. So yeah, Carlos would try to send a short message.
Similar expression as if he was nodded. Sorry.
One room left to check. Door will make a lot of noise. Get ready in case they turn violent.
Oh.
Because Carlos isn't about to let a squeaky door stop him from trying to find Khutula.
Alright,
That's right.
So
I hear the message, but I don't think I can respond, so I just...
you can,
Oh, I can?
Yes, you can.
I believe. Yeah, you get 1 response, 25 words. I think.
Isn't
That's
that for
not
specifically for sending?
Yeah, send it. Message is
let me pull
unlimited.
up my Google image
Oh,
tab.
sorry. Here's the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. Okay, so I guess I can.
Yep.
Understood.
Understood. I love it. All right. So basically, no matter what I try, this door is going to make noise if I move it.
I'm ready with an excuse.
I'm saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah, because you said like the lightest touch. Yeah.
This door is fucking garbage. Like there's no other way I can say that.
So I basically like move to grab onto the door, and as soon as I grab it, I push it open fast, and then stop it. so that it makes all of its noise at once, pretty much, instead of a long, continuous squeak. It might be a little less noticeable. And then, without wasting any time, I immediately move into the room and check the blind spots that I couldn't see.
I'm going to get you to roll your stealth at disadvantage again, just for the sake of the fact that you did this action, and we're trying to see how noticeable it is, because you're like...
Natural 20, come on.
Ooh.
Not quite. So that would be 15.
A 15 total, okay.
Not horrible, but not great.
Isaac, is there anything that you're intending to do to cause, like, an auditory distraction from the impending...
If the door, if we can hear the door out here, I'm gonna go, oh, sounds like she's awake.
Neat. Okay, well, conveniently, at the same time that Carlos opens the door, there's a flock of seagulls that, like, start squawking in the distance, and so it just kind of sounds like there's a lot more seagulls than there actually are for, like, a brief moment in time.
What?
Huh.
The Lady Timora has blessed me.
And Carlos makes it through the door without anybody seemingly or out being suspicious. I'm paying attention to the numbers here. I just can't think of a better way to like slag this off. You're doing really good.
Trying. All right, I'll look around.
These old ladies are fucking deaf. You see Khutula in the corner, right? That's a fact.
I rush over and check her condition.
She is unconscious, and you can tell that she is close to death.
I try to I shake her gently, and I whisper, Khutula, Khutula, are you okay? Like, obviously, I know she's not okay, but I'm trying to get her to, like, respond, because if she's conscious, if she can regain consciousness, at least it's not too bad. Maybe. Does she wake up?
She does not wake up. No.
Okay. Fuck. A couple ways I can play this. So I'm going to. Is she like on her back, on her side?
She's curled up in the fetal position, essentially, if in the recovery position, if you know what that looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Can I see where she's wounded, if at all?
I would appreciate you to roll a medical
check,
whatever it's called.
Okay.
Do you still have your book?
I have my book and I have my healing kit.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll though, because I'm gonna do it real fast. Oh,
yeah.
Thank God. All right, so that is 16 plus 8, which is 24.
Ooh, that's actually a really fucking good roll. So with the knowledge that you have, and with the experience that you have gained in your many months of harrowing journeying, you are aware that she has not been injured by any physical means, though she is quite banged up. Whatever's keeping her unconscious is not, it's magical, not natural.
Oh.
Can I tell if it's actively killing her or just keeping her in a state of near death?
She's effectively in a coma, and you can tell just by like the state of her body that she's not in a good state. So she looks like banged up, harrowed, fucking. I don't know how better to describe somebody close to death, but she's close to death in the sense that she looks physically unwell and injured, but she's not like actively bleeding out or anything. So she's stable, but she is.
So not having really anything else I can do, since I can't see any like obvious like life-threatening physical wounds other than like a bunch of like scrapes and cuts and scratches.
She's not hemorrhaging. She's not feverish. I'm going
to like prop her up into like kind of a half sitting position and basically force feed her a healing potion.
Oh.
Okay. Give me a second to check something. recognizing the time and understanding that we're sort of nearing the end of this session, I'm trying to find a good cliffhanger moment because we're getting very, very close to the cliffhanger. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Completely fucked.
It's going to be an interesting experience. All right, Isaac. So tell me how you're going to continue to distract these ladies who are urging you to come sit by the fire with them. They're like still like, oh yes, come on, please.
No, thank you. I would like to see my companion.
The lead fisherman's wife, who's been like leading this interaction, says, "Oh well, you're quite determined, and I don't see the harm in you seeing your friend. Why don't you come in with me? I'll take you to your friend. You can see her and see that she's well, and then sit by the fire and have a rest. You look weary." She goes to lead you.
I follow her cautiously.
Okay, well she's gonna go all the way over to the door, which is and then she's going to. Oh, the other two ladies sort of follow as well. She's gonna turn around, look directly into your eyes, and the old fisherman lady completely dissolves into the appearance of a slimy scaled, pallid skinned, seaweed haired hag, and I need you to take
Fucking knew it.
a wisdom saving throw.
I'm going to roll with inspiration.
She's so beautiful.
Oh my god.
It does not fucking matter.
Well, at least you avoided a critical fail. I don't know.
That's an 11.
Okay.
I guess I'm getting mind controlled again.
Actually,
Hell yeah,
no.
dude.
You're not getting mind controlled. You are frightened. You are frightened for about a minute. Not that it entirely matters, just because of the way that we're gonna funny fun this. Anyways, so yeah, you are frightened, and then she is going to look directly into your eyes, and you must take another wisdom saving throw.
What?
Okay, I will inspiration again, but that won't really help because I'm already getting disadvantage for frightened.
Yeah, I know, this is the tough part about.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, well that's really lucky.
Hell yeah, dude.
She starts cackling, and the other two fishermen's wives out of the corner of your eye, you can see that they've also devolved, fucking dissolved into sea hags. Carlos.
Yes.
There's no windows. Never mind. You're fine. Okay. So we're gonna end that here with.
Wait.
What? Sorry.
Does anything happen when I give her the healing potion?
Ooh, the healing potion.
There's no windows.
Totally forgot about that.
There's no windows. Nothing happens. Everything's okay.
Nothing happens.
There's no windows.
Healing potion only works if there's a window. Sorry.
Carlos forgot to account for the windows.
Healing potion? Sorry, there's no windows. Find. Oh my god. Healing potion. Forgot that you guys have those.
Hell yeah,
I just want to
dude.
see what it actually covers. Alright. Roll 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2?
Yeah, I think it's just a regular old healing potion, right?
Yeah, it's just regular. But it's enough to get someone on their feet, normally.
In normal scenarios.
So 4 total.
Is this
What'd you
normal?
get?
4.
4 plus 2 is 6. That's why
No,
I
it's
was
4 total.
4 total. So you got
Yeah,
2
1
plus
1
2 is
plus
4.
2.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Hell
They
yeah,
slid
dude.
and they didn't roll.
Okay,
Snake eyes,
I'm
baby.
gonna- Where's Khutula? King.
She's right here. She's in front of me.
She's
Did
tiny.
you forget?
I
Wake
think
up,
I'm
Chris.
just- I'm looking for the token.
She's
Model.
tiny. Remember?
go.
She's small.
There we go. Khutula's there. Okay, so you can see that some of the bumps, bruises, and general like roughed up nature of her, they seal themselves, they heal themselves. The cuts and scrapes and bruises sort of diminish to a degree, but she is still unconscious.
Oh. You what?
And you know what's really funny? The closest help you have is 3 hours away. Fucking idiots. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
we're the
the
idiots.
end of the session. Dun dun dun. What's gonna happen next?
Huh?
It's
We're gonna have to wait
10:17.
with Isaac.
I'm not
We
an
gotta wait.
idiot, Carlos.
What's really funny is if Carlos had opened one of the chests, this might have gone in a completely different direction.
Is that so?
Yeah, but you'll never know until next session.
I'm gonna open the chest as soon as I get there.
Please do.
It's gonna be a letter that says, "Hey, we're hags."
It's gonna be a blank piece of paper, and we all know what that says.
Hag.
A single
Yep.
piece of paper that says,
Tag it.
Devon got one of those once. All right. Anyways, that was the
What?
session. Thank you all for coming back. Thank you all for for joining in chapter 2. If you all are okay with the timing of Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, then we will reconvene next week on Sunday. at
I'm
7
okay
p.m.
with
Eastern.
Sunday.
Perfect.
Okay with Sunday.
Devon, do you actually have that piece of paper? Is that what you're fluttering around?
I'm looking at it right now along with the envelope.
Oh wow, you kept that?
Fuck.
I'm really touched.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Oh, did you send that to him?
I actually
Yeah.
sent him a blank piece of paper that has 2 words on it. In the mail, in a real envelope. He
Is
actually
it
got
the
that.
2 words I'm thinking of?
Yep.
Hell
that
Starts
yeah.
with the N, the other one starts with the F.
Yep.
Yeah.
Night fighting.
The Chigger Chagger.
Oh man.
Explosive.
Haggett.
Outstanding.
Tag it.
Damn, 3 hags? Damn.
Yeah, 3 sea hags.
You
And just
guys are
remember,
gonna
there
be
was also
fighting
2
uphill.
sets of footprints. 2 sets of big footprints.
Oh.
Yeah, with troll
Hey.
friends, apparently. Shit.
They reek of the sea.
Good luck, Carlos and Isaac.
Yeah, we're gonna need it.
Carlos and frightened Isaac. I gotta write that down so I remember.
Isaac's mind is not safe.
It really
I
isn't.
think it's been like fairly well established over this entire
Is that
campaign.
just a
Isaac's mind
1-minute
is the
thing,
least
or
safe
is it
part of
a you can roll to get out of it
So you
subsequent
are-
turn?
Mechanics wise, you are going to. Let me just read this. So,
Make your
horrific
wisdom
appearance.
saving
Any
throw.
humanoid that starts its turn within 30 feet of the hag and can see the hag's true form must take a DC 11 wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is frightened for 1 minute. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns with disadvantage if the hag is within line of sight.
Oh.
If a creature saving throw is successful or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to the hag's horrific appearance for the next 24 hours.
Oh.
I got blasted with Fugly.
Yeah,
Got
so
flagged.
the reason why you had no choice is because the next paragraph says unless the target is surprised or the revelation of the hag's true form is sudden, which is what happened, the target can avert its eyes and avoid it making the initial saving throw. So you had no choice. which is why she did.
Yeah,
it the
no,
way she
like
did.
if Carlos had sent me another message, I was like, I have detect magic ready to go,
Oh man,
but
if
I
you had,
got no
if you
further
had-
information. So
yeah,
it's
if you
like,
had done that,
yeah,
you
no,
would have
my character wouldn't have
probably
done
realized.
anything.
Well, shit, I didn't know there were hags.
Because you didn't look in the box.
Carlos
Yeah,
is
no,
safe.
I'm not even sure I'd recognize what's in the box anyway.
It's in the
What's in the
box.
box?
Well, I mean, if
Yeah,
you'd
anything in
mentioned
a boat.
Khutula being under magic,
Well, I was still determining that when all this happened. So, like, I had just given her the healing potion, and I was waiting to see if anything happened. And then I was probably going to message you, but now I've probably heard cackling outside. So it was
Oh
just,
yeah,
it just
you
happened
totally
at the
heard
same
that.
time, unfortunately.
Hell yeah, dude.
okay. Yeah, I'm assuming that there was something in the brew.
Hell yeah.
If I'd sat down to take a sip of whatever,
Khutula was too naive.
Big ups, Vet, for joining us. Hell yeah, dude.
I need to fucking go to bed.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Thanks for
Are we
hosting.
done here?
Wiz.
Yes, we are done. It's the end of the session. Thank you all for coming. Congratulations. We're back, baby. Season 2.
We're so back. It's unreal.
Unreal.
Fucking see you guys later.
See ya.
Backstreet Boys. Okay. Perfect. And I'll give an updated map with some landmarks.
Hell yeah.